Well, there goes the day. Ooh, ooh. When I did that, it tickled the inside of my nose. Ooh, this is, ooh, wow, hold on.
Try it again.
Take two. Oh my God. Ooh, ooh, I'm going to sneeze now. There goes.
Oh, look.
What that? This is Dave's Gone By, the way. This is how we start. Oh, am I doing subtitles? What am I? Look at that! Automatic subtitles on at least on yours. Is it in English at least, or is it Polynesian, as it has been several times? Okay, what? This program has been specially captioned both for the deaf and the unintelligent, because that's.
Is it in your Zoom?
No, I'm not seeing that in my Zoom. I can check in my. Folks, if you want to write in and tell me if I'm subtitling, I don't know if I am. I don't know, actually, if I should probably not.
Oh, I did live captions. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Zoom, Facebook, I have live captions.
But it's nice to know that you can do that. That you can watch this show, and if you miss any word that I say because I'm very unclear, right? And you're like, oh, what great pearl of wisdom did I miss from the mouth of Dave Lefkowitz? What did he just say? I think I know what he just said, because we do this all the time going to the theater.
I called you Leftowitz.
Well,
say your name again.
Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz. Is it printing well now?
Left.
No, there's no T in there.
Right the second time.
Got it right the second time. So if you miss some great thing that I am saying, you can have it crawl across the screen.
But I never had that kind of.
Isn't this? It's a wonderful
but
world.
I didn't expect it. I went to hit like, but I'm in pain, so I couldn't.
The world is so miserable right now. The world is so awful in some ways, and yet we live in a time, right, when I can go live on the interwebs, talk to you. You can watch me in real time or just maybe a 2 or 3 second delay. Enjoy the brilliance that's coming at you. And if you have a hearing impairment or you're around, you're watching but you're not really want to watch.
Or you're having your baby, like that lady was having her baby.
If you're in labor, right, and the doctor's distracting you and they're telling you, oh, push, so you're not concentrating on what's coming out of my mouth. You can still sort of see in real time. I'm not talking about post.
So you know what it does?
Yeah.
When it first comes on, it comes on with the words up, because I just opened it in your thing. It automatically comes with the words on first.
This is a wonder. What an amazing. Okay, yes, inflation, horrible, war in the Ukraine.
You didn't do something different when you set up your.
I didn't touch your thing. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's doing that for all of you. I don't know. But think about it, folks. As a president with COVID and possibly Alzheimer's, all these things going on. But I can talk to you and you can see my words across your screen. We are living in the very best times ever. And in a lot of ways we are. I know everybody gets on TV, everybody gets on podcasts, everybody goes everywhere, reads the papers, everybody talks to each other are there even water coolers anymore post-COVID? But everybody's, oh, this is bad, and this is terrible, and this, and politics, and blah, blah, blah. But we're also in this time, like, think about it. We're in the middle of a terrible heat wave, another thing to bitch about, all across the country, right? New York, too. This is coming from Long Island, New York. Last couple of days, high 80s.
Pain.
And by the way, everybody at work, everybody's, high 80s. It's like, Meanwhile, it was 115 3 days ago in Oklahoma, and I think in Texas. They reached a high temperature of 115 degrees. Just put it down.
It's really hot.
Thank you. Okay? So when we hit 89 and humid, I'm thinking, that's miserable, but it's not 115. And by the way, let's be fair. When it's 115 in Houston and stuff, it really, without the humidity, the real feel is only 106. So let's not complain too much. But it occurred to me that I'm sitting here.
Oh my God! I sent an email out, the message out saying today at 99:45 a.m. It's 99:45.
99:45.
You know why I was watching a little Spanish TV with military time?
Oh, that
it's
could be it.
9:45 with actors.
9:45 is when the guest comes. So What was I saying? Um,
The heat.
about the heat and the index and all that. But I'm sitting here in this room, which is delightfully cool. We really shouldn't, but we have 4 air conditioners running at the same time in the house that we're in, because we're living in my mom's house. She's got her bedroom air conditioner on that she's afraid to turn off because she has a computer in there. I was like, why the hell do you have that on all day? You're not even in there. And she's like, well, there's computers, and if it gets too hot, then I'll lose my computer.
Of course,
Of
that's
course.
logic.
Whatever. And then downstairs, and it's her house. Her decision. She can do that. And you go downstairs, and the living room air conditioner is on, even though nobody's
Why is that on?
ever in the living room, because it cools off the whole downstairs. And then you've got the den air conditioner on, which is where she stays all day. You can close the door and keep that room very cool.
Santa Claus will come too.
So we're overusing energy for sure, but at the same time, and we're risking, I'm sure, some kind of blackout or brownout. But we're also living in an age, I mean, imagine 100 years ago, and you had a heat wave, and yes, okay, global warming, so maybe a heat wave back then was 87 instead of 89 degrees for 6 days in a row.
David, what's the name of the woman who really likes your show and always writes?
Oh, there's a couple of them actually at this point.
Karen or Mary?
I think Mary.
Okay.
Hello, Mary. So,
I'm tired.
now where was I?
Heat wave.
Heat wave, thank you. So, um, it's gone. This is what happens when you're 58 years old. It's gone. No, but we are in a time when we can be in a place, and not just even huddled in one room around a cooling unit, but physically sprawled out in a nice little house, and perfectly cool. And we can look out the window, right? And this is what people do. This is what we do as spoiled first world American kind of people. We look out the window and we see that it's hot. And we realize that we probably have to go shopping a little bit. And we have to go like 7 blocks in a car, in an air-conditioned car, and go to the thing and then get from the supermarket to the car with the groceries, with the bags. And in between, when you're going from the market to the car, to the parking lot, you're like, oh, it's so hot. Oh, it's so miserable. When will this be over? Global what? And you want to sometimes shake yourself, because everybody does this, and then shake other people and say, you're going from like a supermarket where they keep it at about 66 degrees, where you almost want to wear like a light windbreaker because it's so cold in the frozen aisles, to the car where you can immediately put on the AC as soon as you get in, and notch that down to about 69 degrees. So for about 2.5 minutes, okay, you're not in sub-Saharan Africa. You're walking across pavement for 2.5 minutes in sunshine that's making you schwitz a little, right? And if you're smart, you're wearing a hat, so you're not going to get a little bit of a sunburn, or maybe you have some sunscreen on your nose and stuff. I mean, and that's it. And that is also, Gesundheit, the era that we're living in. Terrible as things are, rotten as politics, divided as everyone is, and the back and forth on literally every issue, not to mention the toll this is all taking on our wallets, on our 401ks, on trying to buy a house or whatever it is. It's like, all bad. And then it's sort of like, if this were 1822, and we had a heat wave like this, what would you do? You just, let's go sit under our favorite tree for 5 hours and work there. And they did. And you managed. I remember, I guess it was like 20 years ago now. I was at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center up in Waterford, Connecticut, which is where the Eugene O'Neill family, his dad, who was an actor, you probably know the story, had like his house, summer house, out in Connecticut when he wasn't touring in the Count of Monte Cristo. And so they built this place there for playwrights to work on their plays, for directors to help the playwrights, for actors to be in them. And also they put in a separate section, a separate wing for theater critics to work on their craft. They would review the shows, work on their writing, and share with each other and become better critics. Everyone was there to get better and to polish their plays, to polish directing, to be actors in a play that might go forward and take you with it, and be a critic who was trying to be a better critic. It's a wonderful idea, but it's not like we all stayed in hotels. Some of us were there on partial scholarship, some of us paid, some of us were fully free and stuff. But we get there, and if you were part of my contingent, you stayed in what was like the dormitory of a school that was out there in the middle of July. It was a month of July that we were there, like 3.5 weeks. And there's a couple of the rooms in the main building where they had like the lunch area and some of the indoor activities and things were air conditioned. Nothing else was. The dormitory, the place we stayed at night, we would go to a show, we'd go to a reading performance, and the performance would end probably about 10 o'clock. And we'd go back to our dorms, get there, and we couldn't go to sleep or anything. We had to write. That was our writing time from about 10:30 until we fell asleep to polish up a review of what we just saw and then bring it in next morning for reading and critique. Which sounds like onerous and ridiculous, except it's, of course, what newspaper people used to do back in the day. They would go on opening night, sometimes leave before the final curtain just to get their notes, run to a phone, dictate their review to the editor of the paper, and it would go in the morning's edition. So there was equivalent. It was trying to recreate some of that. And we did it, right? And we did it night after night. And we did it with no air conditioning. I think we were in sort of a basement room. Each of us had individual dorm things. But I seem to remember some kind of window. But this was also July in Connecticut near the water. So it was not only hot, it was humid, and it wouldn't go down to like 56 degrees at night the way it would if we were in Colorado or something. It would stay like 75 at night and then go up to 90 in the sunshiny daytime. So what did we do? And this is not 100 years ago. This is not 300 years ago. This is just 15, 20 years ago. I'm assuming they built in air conditioning to what we used to call we called it the slammer, because it was dorm rooms that were really prison-like. And I didn't mind. It was, you're there to write, sit at a desk, and have a cot. Or, no, we had a bed, and a place to sleep.
O'Neill?
Yeah.
We were at the O'Neill.
We were at the O'Neill. Yeah, I don't know if we stayed in the slammer. I think the second time we were there, we had a little nicer digs.
But we didn't have remember Dan, the guy Dan Sullivan? He had an air conditioner. We didn't.
Right, exactly. Some people, he became a high mucky muck there, deservedly.
We did get to go to the beach, and we were afraid of getting Lyme disease. I remember that. You're like, Lyme disease.
But the point was, we managed, even though it was miserable. At that point,
it's part of the summer camp whole thing,
yeah. 1:05 in the morning, you're trying to finish a paragraph of a review, and you're just like, oh my God. And we all brought fans, which blow the warm, humid air around, but at least it's sort of, I guess it's cooling the sweat, and the sweat is coming, and the sweat makes you cooler or something. I don't know, but we did. And in the daytime, we had our classes, our seminars outside under the Copper Beech spreading tree in the back of the O'Neill. So we'd find a shady tree. And usually I was freaking out because there's invariably like some wasps' nests only in the eaves of almost everywhere we were sitting. So I'm always half into the group and half like my eyes wandering. It's like, am I going to get stung to death today?
Like a monk.
Yeah, basically I have a monk-like relationship with bees and wasps and things like that. But point is, we did. And now, here we are, most of us, I hope you're lucky enough that you live in a place where, let's say you're a one-bedroom apartment. You probably, if you don't have central air, you probably have a little AC in your bedroom and maybe an AC in the living room. Little portable unit right in the window. And horrible and hot as it may be, it's sort of like, well, I'm watching Netflix. You're watching literally, probably, any movie you ever wanted to see in your life, right then and there. Because it's just, not the old thing, oh, I hope the video store has it. Not the old thing 10 years before that going, ooh, I hope it comes on television. I'd like to see that again, even with commercials. I hope they bring it back to the movie theater. I hope the revival theater on Bleecker Street has. No. I want to see this movie. Do I have to subscribe to Hulu, to Netflix, to Peacock? Does my library have it? How long do I have to wait more than 15 minutes to watch that movie, to listen to that song, to to go scroll through a museum's what's the word? Their what a museum has, their catchment, their archives, their gallery, their own, what they own, what they have, and not have to physically go. What paintings does the Baltimore Art Institute have? Let's see. I can write about one of them. Or I'm listening to a piece of music, and I want to put this painting to this music, and I can do that, while sipping an egg cream in my cool domicile. And I can, meanwhile, if I get bored, I've got, every friend I've ever had on Facebook and Twitter. I can say, hey, how are you? I'm fine. I'm looking at a painting. This is our life now, for better and worse. But I'm complaining, I'm Jewish. I complain about everything. But sometimes I have to kind of step back a little bit and go, some insane way, we are still in the best of all possible worlds. It's just kind of a mind-boggling thing. Not that I'm not saying that it's pretty miserable to be hot. Even though we haven't hit 90 yet. I think we're hitting 90 today here in New York. And people are on edge.
Crazy.
I was driving yesterday. We were driving back from, where were we? Oh, you were getting something in Island Park, yeah. And so we're driving back, and it's a little tricky, where you have to be in certain lanes to turn left for us to go back home. And I kind of I'm trying to find it, and I miss my spot, and I'm trying to deal with my blinker, because I'm not. I try to be the best driver, I am not. And so I'm blinking, and I'm hitting it the wrong blinker, and it goes the other, and I blinker down. And so now I'm in the lane that should be going forward when I need to get into the left two lanes. And I sort of got, I don't think I'm doing anything particularly dangerous.
No one was behind you. I looked.
What was that?
I looked. No one was
Yeah,
behind
I was in the wrong lane, but I was signaled to get into the correct lane, and yet I'm probably going a little slowly because I'm figuring out where the hell I am. And not one, but two drivers, zip around me and curse me out, like in incredible rage.
They didn't curse you. They're like, what are you doing? They didn't curse.
They didn't?
They just said, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
Oh, I thought they were, what the fuck? I thought that's what they were.
I didn't hear any curse. I'm sensitive.
That's interesting.
It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on over there?
All right, well, but they said it as if, I don't know, as if I killed their puppy.
No, it's because they're my people.
Italian? We're not even Italian.
I think they had some of my extraction, not the Austrian or the Tyroleans, but they were, yeah.
But I'm getting this whole road rage thing, because all I'm trying to do is, I'm not trying to do anything wrong. I'm trying to just get in the lane. And suddenly these, not one, but one after another, two guys, what are you doing? You're a moron, you're getting in the lane. I was like, Jesus fucking.
It's the heat, buddy.
And of course it's me, because I'm feeling attacked. I start to get the rage. And I'm like, I mean, it's not like, I'm sorry. Because when you're attacked, you don't suddenly go like, I'm so sorry I made you slow down for 4 seconds while I figured out where I'm going. I'm so terribly sorry you're going to be like 5 seconds later to where you're going to get to, or that I confused you, or that I may have even done something a little bit accidentally dangerous. But when that wave of whoosh comes at you, and certainly if you're male, the gorilla comes out, and I'm like, when really, I would have apologized. I would have said, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong lane. I realize that. But instead, this is what road rage is. It comes at you, and you're like, what's your fucking problem? I'm trying to drive here. Bah, bah, bah. And this all happens within about 3 seconds. Understand, I don't know about them. I mean, they seem to have had their windows open, which I don't understand.
They probably didn't have the AC on. They're
which is what's making them crazy. Me, we've got our AC. We're turning it up to 4 out of 6.
From the heat or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
But me, I'm not even in, I think you have your window cracked open a little so you can get some fresh air. But generally, it's like we're in our car. It's perfectly comfortable, especially if the car's moving. If you're sitting there in the sunshine, sometimes it doesn't matter how high you crank the AC. It's a little bit like, oh. But if the car's going and your AC is going, I'm like, I'm driving. Say hi, But these guys, maybe they roll down their window to yell at me. Or maybe they just, if they're Italian from the old country and of a certain age, they say, I no crack the AC until it hits 96. What's the matter with people? I was in Palermo and...
Maybe their AC doesn't work.
That could be. And then I'd be cranky too. But just like a guy that I worked with for almost 2 years now. Wonderful guy. He's been helping me like day after day through the stuff I have to do at school, right? And we're sometimes we don't even see each other all week, but sometimes we're on the phone, we're on Google Meet or Zoom, and he's helping me through all this stuff. And this is a very because I work for, as I've mentioned many times, maybe you're new to the program, I work for a school district and I deal with data, a chunk of it, and the
Star Trek?
data and Sulu. Well, I wish I could deal with 7 of 9, but so I oh boy.
I can't throw anything at you.
She can't throw anything at me. So here's the thing.
The dictionary word.
So these past 3 weeks have been cloud cuckoo land for where we work, because you had to deal with all the graduation and finishing the numbers and sending that over to New York State. And then you have all this other stuff of all these new kids coming in, registering and pre-registering, and all these kids receiving special ed services, which is the one thing that screws everybody up. And just constantly, and the secretary's calling me, and they don't know what to do, and if I'm not doing my thing right, then that screws up their thing. It's just chaos for a couple of weeks. It's expected. This is the way it is this time of year. And the guy's been helping me out, and this is also the time of year, right now, when you get all your ducks in a row, so that the children who were in school last year properly, automatically move from one grade to the next. So you have to code them right, and you have to, we're sending them to this school. They're staying in the same building, fine, and they're going from K to 1. They're going from 3 to 4. They're 6. They're going off to another school entirely in the same district, etc. They're graduating, fine. I mean, but you have to do this for every kid in our district, and sometimes it's for 80% of them it's nothing. For a bunch of them, they're receiving special ed services in the summer. They got crap going on, and they have to be coded exactly right. It's a thing, right? But you get to the point where you're ready to do it. And so this guy who helps me through, we have our meeting set. It was like Thursday morning. It was like, ducks in a row. But meanwhile, in the morning, I'm trying to print some stuff or PDF some stuff that technically should be done, that we should kind of have just in case before we do this big great advance. It's kind of like you go into this, you print this file, you do this Excel spreadsheet, you do that and that. And I'm trying to do it, and I'm trying to remember from the year ago which one I do and which one I don't do. And now the system's giving me fits because it's the file's too big and it won't set. And I'm like, so, hey, I'm telling him, I kind of, before we do this thing, I'm having this, and he just like, he didn't yell at me, but it was the first time I'd ever seen his good humor crack. And he's like, Dave, I have 50 phone calls today, and this should have been dealt with, and we have to do this thing now.
Who was? Tell me.
Huh?
Tell me who it was.
I can't. I'm not. No.
Just mouth it so I can see it. Oh, okay.
So, and it was a bit of, I was taken a bit aback, and I was like, sorry, man, because old Dave's brain, I'm not 28 anymore. I can handle only so many things at once, and there's just a concatenation of data and needs and deadlines.
Where's the dictionary? Let me pick the word.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Can I pick it?
Mm-hmm. And immediately, like within 30 seconds he apologized, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I just, you know, as you well know,
Can I give you the word?
this weekend was all right. Let me set it up. Let me set that up properly. But never.
Oh boy.
I get it. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and if you think I'm slammed and the people I work with are slammed at the school, this guy and only two other people that he works with there, because it's a small department, it's on them to get a whole bunch of school districts ready at the same time doing the same thing. So when he suddenly starts like, this should have been done. And he said, like, blew back at me. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he said, I'm very sorry. And he was legitimately sorry because we get along great. Yeah, I think we'd be even friends if it were in a work situation. And I told him, if he buys me like a pound of chocolates, I forgive him.
No, I think the
I'm still not going to let him finger me. What?
no, the sign of somebody who is a mentally healthy person is somebody who apologizes.
Oh, immediately. He knew he just, he was already ready to blow. You know how you are, and it's like it's not even the person who makes a yeah. And they've had turnover, recent stuff, and so he's the senior guy there, and he should be. Yeah, he shouldn't be. There needs to be. I need to hire a couple more people, quite honestly. So, but it's that kind of thing. It's again, it was crazy, chaotic times, but I don't think he would have been that close to the boiling point if the weather wasn't that close to the boiling point. It does something to people, even people who are working in perfectly lovely air-conditioned conditions and don't have to be out there in the field. Ooh! Moment of joy. I will. Moment of joy that I had this week. A guy, another person that I'm working with in the office, was looking up to find some history of our school district and of our school. And it turns out that I work in a district that has 3 different school buildings in it, all within about a mile of each other. And I work in a different building entirely that's localized to the 3. One of those school buildings, turns out, back before the building was built, do you know what it was?
A potato field.
It was a potato farm. It was an actual working potato farm, probably for dozens, if not hundreds of years. And then they built a school on top of it. What happened to all the peoples and the potatoes that was living? Forget the people. What happened to the potatoes that was living there?
They had a good life.
I think they moved. I think they had to move to other parts of Palestine, quite honestly. But
no, I think they went to school.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they grew up and they all worked at the school.
That's right, Potato. They went into the school. They started learning. They started branching out with their little tubers. And then they became, what did they become? They become ketchup salesmen, wow. Right? And working in the ketchup factory. Oh, wow. These are my ancestrums. They are potatoes. So see, it's a wonderful thing. They built a school right on top of a potato field, and then there was a place for all those potatoes, those lucky potatoes, to go. See, times just get better and better. But that made me very happy. What also makes me happy is doing this program. It's called Dave's Gone By, with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. Potatoes, of course, we have a few of them. That was not believe it or not, that was not the potato you just saw. I think you just saw this one as opposed to this one. Or maybe you saw this one. The mind plays tricks on you in the heat. Want to let you know some of the things that we'll be doing on this episode of Dave's Gone By. In just a little bit, we will have our guest. Our guest in the Daverhood this week is an actress and a dancer too. Her name is Andrea Wolff. Andrea Wolff. Why are we having her on? Because she's doing a one-person show at the AMT Theater in just a couple of weeks, and it's all about her early years in Las Vegas. She was in a Vegas review, this should tell you everything, called Bottoms Up.
Ooh,
for a while.
Can potatoes see that as well?
I we have to put like bandanas around potatoes,
Oh,
many
right.
eyes.
Got that, yeah.
But she's going to be talking about that. She's also been on Broadway. In fact, she was in the first national tour of Hello Dolly with Carol Channing, and she was in a couple of Hello Dollys on Broadway with Channing. Andrea Wolff, right? Okay, yeah, and some other stuff, and she was an entertainer. She did TV stuff. She was on like the Donnie and Marie show, and did Sid and Marty Krofft thing. I mean, and she opened for Engelbert Humperdinck. I mean, mind blowing. Andrea Wolff. She's doing her show Adventures in Vegas off Broadway at the AMT Theater. That's a new theater that that Al Tapper and Tony Sportiello are running. They've both been guests on the show. We had Seth Bisenhirsch. His show got really good reviews. It's called Love Quirks, and that's running, I think, until early September. So, yeah, we've been getting a lot of AMT people here. And this is another one, Andrea Wolff. Plus, we're probably going to have a short visit from her co-star playing some other roles. And his name is, isn't this the loveliest name ever? Elliot Litherland.
Oh, I like it. It's alliteration. Right? Lither.
Elliot.
Can I give you the word that I picked?
Litherland. Let me say. So she's going to be the guest. She'll be talking to Rabbi Saul Solomon of blessed memory. He is the founder and spiritual leader. I'm going to add that now. I know, I'm going to add that now. He wants to have him said.
But he's not dead.
I know, that's the joy of it.
A future, maybe.
Of Rabbi Saul Solomon of future blessed memory. That's pretty good. That's even better. A future blessed memory.
Hopefully.
Well, I don't know if people will remember him blessedly. But he'll be doing the interview. We will also have Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We know that segment. We'll also have our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz, where Andrea Wolff will be playing opposite our regular players, David Sheward and Leslie Hoban Blake, in our trivia game. We'll have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we are going to La Plata, Colorado, for an awful poem. It's a 5-line limerick poem that I've written about La Plata, Colorado. And we'll do this, I think we did this last week, we're going to try it again. My wife, Joyce, has beside her a dictionary book. Yes, I know. A dictionary book from, and it's like a 50-year-old dictionary, so not a lot of new words in there. What I was doing a few years ago, and every once in a while we bring this back, is a segment called Dave's Big Dictionary. Joyce will flip through the book completely at random, not even looking at the pages, put her finger down, again at random, somewhere on a page. And wherever her finger lands, whatever word it's on, I kind of have to extemporize and talk about for 3 to 5 minutes or so. Just whatever comes into my head. Could be anecdotal, could be just word association, whatever it is. So Joyce, she already flipped through. She's been itching to tell me what the word is.
The word is Hagar.
Hagar?
In the Bible, a concubine of Abraham and a slave of his wife Sarah, Genesis 16.
How the hell is a proper name in a dictionary?
I don't know.
Hagar?
You know that? Did you understand what I said?
Say it again. Abraham's what?
Oh, here we go.
Say it again.
It said, a concubine of Abraham and a slave of his wife Sarah, Genesis 16.
Wonderful.
Hagar. Was that the Viking?
Well, that maybe my head will go there.
Oh.
Because I have even though I went to Hebrew school for 7.5 years, I don't, like I remember Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. It's like, no. Or Hagar. But there's other things that name might bring up to me that I can talk about. So, that'll be Dave's Big Dictionary that we will, of course, be doing later in the program when I have a few minutes to think about what will come out of Dave's brain to talk about that word, which is a proper name, which is not fair.
You want a new one?
No. Okay. No, that's the rules. Okay. The finger lands and the finger points. Yeah. Anywho, what else can we talk about this week before we get to our guest in the Daverhood? I do want to mention, as here's another thing about the way people are. It's sort of almost the opposite of what I was talking about 20 minutes ago. So I'm driving along in the morning, and I'm noticing, and everybody I'm sure is noticing, I'm looking at my odometer, looking at my tank, and saying, oh, got to fill up pretty soon, and looking at the gas stations. And we do this. Our brains do this. And the gas thing says 440 or 435, right? Some of them 459. I even saw a 429 the other day for gas. And I'm like, whoa. I literally said in my brain, and maybe we all did this, that's cheap. How amazingly malleable we are as human beings. That a year ago, gas was about $2.50 a gallon for your basic unleaded whatever. And then over the course of just a few months, because of the war in Ukraine, because of everything else, inflation, just basic inflation, zooming, gas went to 5 and change. Doubled. And I thought there would be a revolution. Honestly, I thought if gas prices went over $4, the public would just sort of lose their shit. I think, and you even told me about this. People are just too apathetic about it. I thought there'd be a revolution when Roe v. Wade tanked, and that women would just take like a day and sick out all over America and march and block streets. Nothing. Not a fucking thing. It's too hot. No one wants to do anything. It's too hot. But gas went, and everybody complains, and everybody gets head up reading the newspapers and the internet feeds.
People are yelling at you because they probably just keep the gas station.
No, but they should have been happy in a way, because they looked at the gas prices and wait a minute, last time I gassed up it was $5.10 a gallon, and now it's only $5.40 a gallon.
But isn't it?
Or $4.40.
We have to look into this very carefully. But there's some supermarkets that give you gas relief.
We did that in Colorado when we were there. Yeah, where if you shopped at the supermarket, you got a certain percentage off. Yeah. But what I'm saying is how interesting the mind is, how we recalibrate things. That if suddenly a year ago we went from $2.50, and we woke up the next week and gas prices were $5, we would lose. Gas prices went to $4.50. We would lose our minds. We did. It took a couple of months, and suddenly gas prices went from $2.50 to $5. When we were just like, oh my God! And it was this ultimate representation, because you go into the supermarket and milk was maybe $1.89 for a gallon or a half gallon, and now it was $2.05. And you think about it, but you don't really think of it. Bread is a little more. This is a little more. You see it ultimately when you're checking out, but not perhaps item by item. Do you think, oh, how did this happen, right? And you still would see things on sale, so that would assuage you a little bit. Well, this seems a little bit more, and this is 10 cents more, and this is 15% more. Ooh, but this is on sale and cheaper than I remember it, so let me grab these. But as everybody says, gas prices are so visible, the signs, and when week after week, month after month, you see
Costco, they must have cheaper gas.
Cheaper. But everything went up and up and up. So if it went $3.50, $3.75, $4.05, will it stop? $4.10, $4.40. The war is going on in Ukraine. That's not stopping. Joe Biden seems incompetent. $4.60, $4.70. Inflation is uncontrollable. The Fed, blah 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 blah. And then suddenly, is it going to stop $5, $6, $7, $8, $12 in California, perhaps? And then, so we lose our shit, but. Over the course of a couple more weeks, at least the last month, it goes $5.10, $4.95, $4.80, $4.70, $4.60, $4.40-ish. May bounce up and down a little bit from that. And we go, oh, thank goodness. Oh, my God. Not only things are under control, but, this is cheap. I can take my vacation now. Even though it's still a full $2 more per gallon than what you were paying back in June, July of 2021. It's amazing what the brain does to reset itself. And I know I'm really leaping here, but the idea of getting used to new normals, as we all did with wearing masks every fucking where. And, minute after minute, hour after hour. We just kind of did. And now I'm so used to wearing a mask when I go shopping or anywhere indoors that it would feel weird for me now to take it off. 56 years of my life, I never wore a mask anywhere. And now after just 2 years of recalibration, my brain is saying, if I take the mask off in here, it's a little dangerous. I'm going to risk getting COVID again. Yeah, I think I'll do that. It's fine. I don't mind it. I'm going to sit in a theater and watch a play in some mild discomfort. And yet, if I take the mask off in a theater, I'm going to feel like, and I'm watching like a quarter of the people. Last show, had their mask off. You're allowed in the theater. I mean, not me. Not me. I'm being safe. I'm being careful. You get used to new normals, and it even goes into like figuring out how people survived concentration camps, how the Japanese survived internment camps, how people survive earthquakes, and whatever else. Your mind just kind of, to save itself, to not go crazy, is to say, well, this is how it is, and I'll make the best of it, and I'll look for the silver linings in everything. Oh, we're in Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. We didn't get any dinner last night, so I'm starving literally to death. But we have potato peel soup tonight, and it's actually warm. And there's almost flavor in it from 2 carrots. Oh, what a good day this is. Now, I know I've made an enormous leap from, from slightly lowering gas, not slightly, from lowering gas prices to all these other things. But it is a weird, interesting trait of the human condition that we are like that we will as quickly as we can reset our lives and objectives so that we can kind of be like, okay, it's all right. Gas isn't going to $6, it's going back down towards 4. Whew! Life is returning to normal-ish. Normally, that's what we get. Normal-ish. I'm sure in Chicago or other places where there's terrible gun violence and crime, if there's 12 people dying every weekend from gunshots, and that goes down to 6, the mayor and everybody's going to go, oh, well, things are getting so much better. I mean, we just thought things were out of control, but only 6 dead? I think I'm going to go sun myself in the worst neighborhood in all of Chicago or the Bronx or wherever. It's what we do. Well, here's a silver lining. We have a guest coming into the Daverhood. She is an actress. She is a dancer. She's been on Broadway. She has been in Las Vegas. As a matter of fact...
This is the whistle.
Uh-oh. Even our noisemakers are being affected by the heat. Oh, that's better. That's all right.
The whistle, this is the whistle.
Oh. Whistle's broken. Oh, no. Our noisemaker's on its last legs, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. That one works. Anyway, let me get her into the neighborhood to talk to Rabbi Saul Solomon. Her name...
Listen.
Either that or maybe that just got crushed in the drawer, but... What was that supposed to be?
That's the boing.
Oh, dear. Yeah, we're going to have to get a new one of those pretty soon. Anyway, let me get the guest in here. We have joining us Andrea Wolff to talk to the great, the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Saul Solomon about her life in the theater, touring in Hello Dolly, playing in Vegas, and her brand new show, Adventures in Vegas, talking to the one, the only, the Jewish, of future blessed memory, Rabbi Saul Solomon. Stop doing what you're doing, whatever you're doing over there, and say hello and shalom. Make sure you unmute your microphone so that we can hear you. Oh, I love the books. I love the bookshelves there.
There we go.
There we go.
Hello, Rabbi.
Shalom,
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to you too. Oh, I knew. You're a yid. You're a yidlach. You're a nice little. What's your Hebrew name?
Chana.
Chana. Were you bat mitzvah, or they didn't do that to girls?
No.
Circumcised, or did they do that to?
Yeah, I did. At later years, I had a circumcision down there. Yeah, yeah. It's very pretty, and I had what they call a designer vagina.
A design of a vagina.
I did design a vagina at the same time. It was perfect.
Well, does it look like anyone I know?
Yeah, it kind of looks like what's the country singer with the beard? He's about 85 years old.
Willie Nelson.
That's right. I look like Willie Nelson. There you go.
George, it's John Lennon on the left thigh, George on the right.
Right.
I know the joke. God damn it!
You know that joke.
I tell that every week in shul. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andrea Wolff, and she is an actress. She is a dancer. She has been in Vegas. She has been on Broadway. She has toured and done regional theater. And, of course, she will be doing her one-person show off Broadway at the AMT Theater. Let me get the dates on this so that we can tell everybody to buy tickets and to go see it. Where the hell's my notes on you? Where is it? It's playing from July 30th, so the end of this month, through August 24th. And the AMT is very, very convenient. It's like between 8th and 9th Avenue over on West 45th Street. So how long have you been working on this one-person autobiographical show?
Okay. Well, we started about, I'm going to say, right before COVID. We started working on it, and then I did it as a cabaret at Don't Tell Mama for 6 performances. And I was basically kind of sold out, which I was really shocked even during COVID. And even when we had that terrible storm, I thought there'd be like 2 people in the audience. And Cindy Meyer, who runs Don't Tell Mama, said to me, I was shocked. Where'd all these people come from? But anyway, and it got very good reviews. And people said to me, this is more like a musical comedy theater piece than a cabaret. And it is. So they all said to me, you need to put this in a theater. So then I'm going to say a few months ago, a friend of mine who was doing his show at the AMT Theater offered me a couple, it's called Love Quirks. You know him, Seth Eisenhirsch.
Yeah, right.
And we also have another connection, Gary Morgenstein.
Oh, he was just on the show too.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I'm in his play coming up in December called The Tomato Can't Grow in the Bronx.
Tomato, that's America. You're in that. I did not know this.
I'm in that. I play Gladys Sims.
Because, let me explain to the people at home. All Jews know each other, and this is how we control the media. This is how we do it. This is why ABC, CBS, NBC, even Fox is Rupert Murdoch. We talk, we do, we control. But continue, please. So you know all these people at AMT. How about getting me a fucking show at AMT?
All right,
well, that, goddammit.
Well, all right, come on, I'll put you on the stage with me.
I'll do it.
So anyway, so I met Gary. This is through totally different. A friend Jack of mine. I did like a 2-line thing in something called Joyland, which was going to be supposedly, hopefully, something to get picked up by Netflix. And I had one fakakta line, and all I had to say was, "Are you finished yet? I have a hair appointment." Okay, so that was my big thing on Joyland. Okay,
my wife says that every Friday night.
All right, of course, yeah. So anyway, my friend Jack, who is good friends with Gary, when he was looking for Gladys Sims, Jack said to Gary, I have the perfect woman. And Gary's like, no, she's too glamorous. I don't see her as, he says, I'm telling you, she's a character actress. Stick her on a wig, take off the makeup. She's an old bubby, okay? She can play the bubby. All right. So so I auditioned for him, and sure enough, and so we're going to be doing that in December at the Chain Theater. So I had to make sure that I plugged this for Gary. So, and anyway, so going back to Adventures in Vegas.
Your show, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're plugging everybody else.
Yes. So,
and remember,
so
it is fun to plug yourself if you buy the right vibrating implement.
yeah, it is kind of like, that would be a nice thing to do, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we did the show at Don't Tell Mama, and this thing came on my lap about doing a couple of performances at the AMT Theater, and I jumped on it because I said, this is a great opportunity. Of course, producing your own show is, oy vey, what a headache. I mean,
let me ask you right there, what was so many things to juggle? What was the hardest one to deal with to get the show up?
Okay, I think the hardest thing was dealing with the fact that the AMT Theater is newly renovated. Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of starting from scratch, and they were kind of not sure what they were doing. So that kind of left me. And in the beginning, they weren't going to have a stage. And they just built the stage. Thank you, God. But I said, I'm 4'9". No one's going to see me. You're going to see like a cowlick at the top of my head. That's what you would see. But anyway, that got rectified, and
did they turn it from a black box into a proscenium, or what is it? It's
well, it's still a black box, and it's got seating. It's got 99 seats in there, but they needed to raise up because it was just a platform. They didn't have the stage, and you couldn't see the people from the waist down, which is.
That's my favorite place to see them.
I know, and especially me, as I said, you'd say nothing.
Not to mention, you were in a Las Vegas review called Bottoms Up. If I want to look at you, I'm going to see
Believe me, in this show, people are going to see my bottom. I mean, it's not really overtly out there, but it's. This show is a little racy. It's filled with innuendos.
Oh, I'd like to know your endo because it was bottom.
It's not. I wouldn't call it vulgar, and it's not overtly. There's no overt nudity, except I do have this gorgeous guy in the show with me, who's actually going to be joining us hopefully in a little bit.
Right.
And he comes out with a little bare chested and stuff like that.
I don't want to see that.
I know. But the women, they all say to me, Andrea, do you still have that gorgeous guy in your show? And I go, yes, I do. So
his tits, I do not need to see, with all due respect to him.
Yeah.
You know what? If he comes on, he wants to take off his shirt. That's fine by me. I'll look the other way. You want to take off your shirt? I'm down with that. Go ahead.
Right. Although I think at this point at my age, if I took my shirt totally off, your audience would click off really fast.
Well, just take the camera way down to your knees, and we'll be able to.
Really, they're not a PSA and hi. They're kind of like, hi, hello. So.
They're turned into old Jewish women. It's like, hey, how are you? How's it going? Remember when I used to give milk? All right, but anyway.
Yes, right, okay.
This disgusting chat I've ever had.
Yes. I am ready. Okay, so.
All right, so you're dealing with this new theater. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in 1970, I was in the Bottoms Up review in Las Vegas. I had left my position in Hello Dolly on Broadway because I had done it for about 1,000 performances, and I just felt like I needed to move on. And a friend of mine, Marsha Lewis, who people in the theater all know who she was.
Marsha Lewis, yeah, okay.
Marsha Lewis. She was like
Chicago, wasn't she, for a minute?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was one of my best friends, my closest friends. Unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago. But anyway, she said to me, Andrea, I have this friend who's got the show in Las Vegas, and they're coming to the Playboy Club to play, and I think that he should meet you. So she set up an audition, and I went, and the guy loved me, like hired me like almost on the spot. And then I went off, here I was, like 19 years old. I went off to Las Vegas, and I kept a diary. And so there is some very interesting stuff because you know what happens in Vegas.
Doesn't stay
Does not
in
stay in
Philippines
Vegas
now.
because I'm going to say it in my show. So
Well, let me ask you, before we get to the stuff that you did as a young girl, sexy young lady, could go and do and have fun, were there things, since you mentioned the Playboy Club in Vegas, were there things that were done to you that were not okay, that were, that you look back in the Me Too era and you go,
yes,
I was, yeah.
yes. And I talk about them in my show. So although my show is a comedy, we do have some very emotional moments in there. And, I've had people come up to me after the show and say, I laughed till my side hurt. But however, there were times when you made me cry. So I said, well, if I did that, then I did my job.
Yeah. That's what I tell my proctologist. I laugh, and then, and the tears, and then laughter again. It's kind of but so do you name names though? Like, I always wonder about people who say, oh, there was this person, this guy, this director, this doctor, this whatever, who did this, and it was not okay, but he did it. It was a different era, but they don't say the name for some crazy reason. They don't want to shame a person who should be in prison.
No, I was never raped, or I was never, look, I was young, but I wasn't naive, and I had been around the block. I'd been around the world a couple of times by that point. I was
like 69, really. But
yeah, I was a child of the 60s. And, during that time, everything was very free, very open, and that's who I was. I was a free spirit, okay? And so, I kind of enjoyed, those growing up and being
How many orgies were you in?
Oh,
how many orgies?
Never one. Unfortunately, no, because I knew I would be the star, and I didn't want to take away from the other people in the orgy. I didn't want all these men just pouncing on me, all these other women on the side sitting there going, "Hey, so what about me? What's wrong with me?"
You topped me. Not a lot of people can do that. I had the orgy joke, and you just went way above. This is a funny lady who is, by the way, doing a show called Adventures in Vegas that you can see at the AMT. Oh, yeah, we have a link on the Facebook feed so that people can click and get tickets at the AMT Theater, July 30th through August 24th. So, but now I'm a little. Is it a musical? Is there songs in it?
It's a musical. And we cover every genre basically in those songs. We have songs that are done by a pop singer called Emily Sandé, and I have a John Waite song in there. And I'm doing Dance with Somebody, and we do a different rendition to it. It's not done like Whitney Houston did.
And this is not your first.
Rabbi,
what? Do you do Haban in there? I just have a.
Haban? Yeah.
In there.
And I want everybody to applaud at the end. So at the very end of the show, I go, everybody join in. Habanagila.
I was so slutty. I opened my legs for everybody. No, I'm kidding. God damn it. So, but this is not you've done other one-person shows about your life, or at least one person.
Yes, I have. Yeah. I did another show, I'm going to say like 4 years ago, called Prisoner of Love. And it actually talks about the fact that as a young person, I was obsessed with the male paraphernalia. And I was basically a prisoner of always falling in lust, however you want to call it. And I talked about all those relationships. And I am an honest person, and I feel like if you're going to go up on the stage and you're going to talk about your life, you better be truthful. Yes. Because, someone's going to call you on it if you don't.
I would literally shout from the third row.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I also did a show a few years ago at the Iridium in New York called Big Girls Do Cry. And it was in the music of the 60s. And I did all girl group. I had two very tall backup singers next to me. And that was a great show. And then right before COVID hit, I did a Stevie Nicks show at the Green Room, not the Green Room, because I did another show at the Green Room, at the Cutting Room.
Oh, yeah.
And I sold out there were like 245 people in there. They couldn't even sit them. They was standing room.
Now, do you do Stevie Nicks with her voice? Do you impersonate, or do you?
I do a little, yeah. Well, the thing is, I have that inclination in my voice anyway, so I really don't need to even try that hard. One of the reasons why I did the '60s show is because when I sing, I sound a lot like Ronnie Spector. I mean, if you're looking for a show where people sing soprano and beautiful, legit, that's not me. I'm more of a pop singer. Yeah. And although I am a Broadway background as a Broadway belter, that's kind of.
You know what? The Broadway sound has changed. Yes. Over the last 20 years. You go into a show like Dear Evan Hansen, that doesn't sound like
that. Exactly. Exactly. I just saw Six the other night, and that was like crazy.
A very different. Crazy. So, we're here with Andrea Wolff. I have so many other questions to ask of you. Do you have any, because you were first on tour and then on Broadway for, as you said, 1,000 performances of Hello, Dolly, do you have any Carol Channing? She was on the show here before she died, thank God, because after she died, she's very quiet. But do you have any Carol Channing stories about her meals? I hear she was a lovely woman.
Well, you know, I went on a road with Carol. That was my first. I went in as a replacement for Ermengarde, and I had gone for the original audition, and it was down between me and two other girls. One of the other girls got it, not me. And then I'm going to say 6 months later, my manager called. And I was going to professional children's school that time. I was like a junior in high school. And my manager called me and said, they want to see you again. The girl is leaving. And so I went and auditioned and I got the part. And I went off to Rochester to join the show. And Carol, I'll never forget the first night she pulled me out from the lineup and she gave me a special bow. She was very nice, Carol, but her husband at the time didn't really let her really.
He was the crazy gay guy. He didn't
really let her really intermingle with the cast that much, but she was very nice. We would be away at these Pocahontas cities somewhere in Hodunk, and she would rent out the movie theater like after our show, and we would be able to go and get all the candy and the popcorn we wanted, and we would watch movies. And one night she gave us a beautiful gala dinner just for the cast. And I'll never forget, I actually have a picture with her where there's this big heart, and she wrote on it, because as Ermengarde, I was always waving at the train station, and she wrote, with little baby waves always, love you, Andrea. But I also had wonderful experiences. I went on the road with Dorothy Lamour. And she was wonderful. Okay, as many things.
You're going to be with Dorothy Lamour. You might as well be on the road to somewhere if you think.
Right. And when I was on the road with Dorothy Lamour, President Johnson at the time came to see the show. Okay, he came to my dressing room because he said he wanted to meet me. I mean, I was never political. I didn't know what, really, to tell you the truth, at that time I was young. Really, I knew that the Vietnam War was going on, but it wasn't like on the forefront of my mind, except I knew a lot of the young boys that I knew were going off to war. And okay. So anyway, he came to my dressing room and he grabbed my hand and he kissed it. And he said, Miss Bell, I went under Andrea Bell at the time. Miss Bell, I sure did love your performance. And, I thought that was great, but it's not until now that I realized, hey, that was a pretty special moment. So then I was also on the road with Betsy Palmer doing Hello, Dolly. And then on the Broadway company, I worked with Betty Grable.
Betty Grable?
Betty Grable, who I had, when I was in Vegas, I was in the mall one day and I bumped into her walking in the mall.
Did you see her legs first or her face first? How did you recognize her?
No. I know. Yeah, I saw her face first. I didn't. Her legs. She was wearing slacks, so we didn't notice it. Okay, so then wait a minute. I'll go fast because I'm sure. And then I worked with so it was Channing, Betty Grable, Dorothy Lamour. Oh, and I got to work with Ethel Merman, because I didn't know that she was coming into, I didn't know she was coming into the Broadway company, and I had just given my notice to go to Vegas. And so I did get to work with her for
You did or you didn't? You did not?
Performances.
Wait, you did a couple of performances.
Yes, I did.
You have an Ethel Merman story.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
Because only the fact that when she would walk into the room, everybody was like,
Well, yeah. Well,
they were like in awe. You know, nobody, like, everybody shut up. It was like,
was her performance the same? Because, you know, the famous thing about her is that once she knows the line, she gets it, the show, she is frozen. Like, she does it the same every single
well,
night.
you know, I only did 3 performances with her basically, because then I left. So I don't really recall, to tell you the truth.
Now, I have to ask you another. We're hoping your co-star is going to come on. I hope we gave him the right link. I don't see him. So
no, I'm sure that's the right link because I used his link to get onto this.
So he's oversleeping. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like he
I
can't
don't know
come
where he is.
Yeah, it's not coming on.
I'll send him a right now.
Send him a goddamn text. Where the hell is he?
Where
Rabbi,
are you, Elliot?
by the way. This is Andrea Wolff. You're going to want to see her off Broadway at the AMT Theater in her solo well, not solo. It's a musical show called Adventures in Vegas. Well, no overt nudity, but you will sort of see her tush, probably in spandex.
You will see me wiggling my behind. I wiggle my boobs. I wiggle my boobs.
Thank you very much. Wait, hold it.
Rabbi, you're only supposed to look if it's a shiksa.
But you're not. Well, wait, you're not a shiksa.
No, you're only supposed to, right?
If it's a shiksa.
You're right. If it's a shiksa, it's okay.
So who is Mr. Wolff, by the way? Are you married to a nice guy named Wolff?
I am married to a great guy. Mr. Wolff and I met. We're going to be celebrating our 39th wedding anniversary. Even though I'm only 23, it's amazing. I don't know how we did it, but whatever. I met him. I was 33. He was 28. I was a cougar. And
that's what you did. You were a beaver, then you became a cougar.
That's right. But the beaver's still there. But anyway, it's still functioning. Thank you very much. So
good to know.
Yeah, all right.
This is what makes him the
and
big.
Anybody who's going to come to see my show has to know. All right, so they just, if it's not your cup of tea, don't come. Come before the show.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't know if this was extra.
What is Wolff? What is his?
He's an attorney, and his law firm is. I got a little plug: Rosenberg, Mink, Falcoff, and Wolff, and he was just voted actually one of the best attorneys in the country for what he does, which is personal injury and medical malpractice. Rabbi, you shouldn't know from it. You shouldn't need. Okay.
Talking to you gives me a pain in my. Do you have your husband's number? Because I be suing you shortly. No, for like $2 million, not much. Yeah, he can obviously afford it. It's
yeah. So anyway,
that desk behind you, I'm drooling over that desk. I love it.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I mean, like we have like a little study or whatever. But anyway, I have 2 children. I have one child that was born with a severe disability. She was born with something called Prader-Willi syndrome. But now she is a grown woman. She lives in Connecticut in a group home, and thank God, knock wood, is doing very good. And then I have a son who's married, and I have 2 grandchildren.
Oh, my Muslim, your basket.
So we still don't have Elliot. I don't know where he is.
So while waiting for him, and plus in about 5 minutes, I'm going to leave, and you're going to stay, and you're going to play the game.
Right, the trivia game.
But oh my God! But first of all, one of our friends of the Daverhood who was on our show, and then again also died, like Carol Channing. Were you a friend of Rusty Warren?
Yes.
Tell us a Rusty Warren story.
Well, okay. So, I can't tell the story that I want to tell because it's in my show and I don't want to give it away.
Fair enough.
Okay. But she was lovely and she loved me. She would comp me all the time and I would go to her show constantly. And after her shows, she would always introduce me to the audience, which was nice. Always made me feel kind of important. And, she was a really nice, great lady.
Okay, by the way, people don't know Rusty Warren. She was a musical comedian who's, and you're welcome to demonstrate as you did before. She did a song called "Bounce Your Boobies." So
right,
juggle them up.
I am doing that song in my show.
You are, oh my God. Oh, sorry.
I am doing that song.
When I do it in synagogue, nothing. I bounce the boobies. People don't
Rabbi,
really.
you can bounce your bubbies.
That's your bubbies. Well, listen, with the bubbies were usually kind of a little stocky. It might be difficult to bounce them
Well,
around.
this doesn't bounce. The flesh pockets, the handles by the hips. That
You
goes
know,
up.
I know. It's like my son says to me, why don't you come over and we'll babysit and stuff like that? I go, look, you grew up with bubbies. My mother and your other grandmother were stay-at-home women. They stayed home, they cooked, they cleaned, they took care of the kids and the grandchildren. I said, it's different nowadays. I said, I have my own life. Okay, sorry, love the kids,
Some Jewish
love the
mother you are.
children to death, but I can't be there at your beck of call all the time. I'm not the bubby.
Are you sure that there isn't a little bit of Christian in you? Because that's not very.
I don't know. There were a couple of Christians in me.
Speaking of which, and yes, there's a pun in here. Did you open, as it were, for Engelbert Humperdinck?
Well, yes, I was with Bottoms Up, not me as a solo performer.
Okay, yeah.
But we opened up for Engelbert Humperdinck a few times, and also for the Fifth Dimension.
Oh, so you were up and away
Yes.
there.
Another
And
thing I want to mention.
balloons.
Yes. One of the things I should mention, because if people find it kind of interesting, is that I used to with a band called Your Father's Mustache. And we used to open up for the Ed Sullivan Show. We were the warm-up. We were the warm-up band. And I would get up on the stage. I was like the singer. And I would sing things like, and this for the many things you gave me, means only that it was comedy, and then we would do, like,
All right, wait, but tell me also, like, being on Ed Sullivan, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, we were on the Ed Sullivan
Right.
Show.
Give us an Ed Sullivan. No, it doesn't have to be about him, but just the physical experience of doing the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah, well, I didn't really have anything to do with him. I mean, I was in the dressing room. It's your time to get on the stage, get on, get off, goodbye, that kind of thing.
Right, well,
right.
But I mean, did you watch him from the wings? Did you kind of get a sense of his behavior, or
no? Because I really wasn't able to do that. I was, we were in the beginning. We would warm up the audience, and then basically I would leave.
All right. What about, though, you did TV with Donnie and Marie, and you were in sketches, right, and stuff?
I was a dancing character. I worked for Sid and Marty Krofft.
Wow. Were they stoned all the time, or?
No, they were so young back then. They were like, really young. And, I did a dancing number with Jimmy, and I was a dancing clock, and they put this costume on me, and I couldn't see for the life of me. And when I actually saw it on the air, I was like, what the hell was I doing? I don't know.
Nobody knew. I mean, were you on like Puff and stuff? Did you do everything?
No, but there are some very interesting stories about, what was her name? Billy. She also played Minnie Fay on Broadway. Billy, she was the witch, Witchy Poo. Billy.
Yes, Billy, not Barty, not Billy Burke. Billy.
No, Billy.
Eilish. Billy.
Not Billie Eilish.
Oh, somebody text in what the hell.
Look it up.
Yeah.
But there were some very interesting stories about her. I don't know if I should repeat this story.
We have 1 minute.
And I was not there, so I don't know. But I heard a story that somebody walked in on her, what's in the trailer, and she had, there was this, they had these, little people in the show. They had little people. I mean, I'm tiny, but I'm not what you would consider a little person. Okay, I'm just a tiny human being. And she was like, there was a dress over her head, and she was like going down on one of these little munchkin people.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What?
Billy Hayes.
Yeah.
Billy Hayes.
Stripping a munchkin.
So?
Well, no, but I mean.
I wasn't there. This is just a story that I've heard, so this is just hearsay. But I've been around for a long time. I've read a lot of stories.
I see this.
Whether they're true or not,
Good for her.
I don't know. But it makes for interesting conversation.
Sure as hell does. Let me ask you though, if you could go back in time, and because you seem to have lived a very full and delightful life. You were out there, you were free, as so many of us are not. But
Right.
you were. But if
Yeah.
you could tell yourself something like 50 years ago, you could go to yourself as a whatever teens, 20s, and give yourself advice. What would
Okay.
it be?
My advice would be do exactly what you did and if you want to repeat what you did back then, repeat it, because I have no apologies. I have no regrets. um I I fulfilled my life the way I wanted to fulfill it. And there was a fire inside of me when I was 19. And I feel like that
Well, that's
19-year-old
gonorrhea.
fire still burns deep within me,
That's
which
gonorrhea.
keeps
Doesn't
me,
go away.
it makes me who I am today, basically.
So you're one of the few people who wouldn't have a list of things that don't do this. Don't you should have done that.
No,
Yeah.
no. I will say, and someone just sent me from Nightlife Exchange 6 questions to answer about my life. And one of the questions was, what was one of the biggest lessons you learned? So one of the biggest lessons I learned was when I went to Vegas at 19. I was used to people from the East Coast, which are basically, we're pretty open and free, and we know. Okay, I was thrown into a pool of people from all over the country who are not like us on the East Coast. Okay, closed-minded. I encountered anti-Semitism for the first time.
Oh, tell that story.
All right. So anyway, the cast, I think there were like 12 of us in the cast. And most of them were from Texas, and they had already been working together for many, many years. And so when I went in, I was the youngest and I was new. And my boss, who was gay, was not interested in me in any kind of sexual way, but I became his little protege. And so there was jealousy. And there was a lot of things like, well, that little Jew that just came in, and she's just going to be taken over, and who does she think she is? What does she think she's going to, I navigated myself through that to not cause anything to be worse, but to try to make things better. Okay. And so look, I was never close friends. The only friends that I actually had, there were 2 Black girls in the show, and they became basically my best friends that were in the show. Okay, because the 2 of us were kind of a little bit like the outcasts from the group.
Okay.
All right.
That's what it.
Yeah. So I navigated it so that I was never close friends with any of those other people. However, we ended up all getting along, and they ended up having a mutual respect for one another.
Wow. Because it was anti-Semitic, but it was more like they were just jealous of you, and they
Well,
were
yes,
ugly.
and they didn't really know, so they really had no, to tell you the truth,
How did they even know you were
with other Jews. They were looking for my horns and my tail.
Right.
I mean,
Look for
I actually met a boy in Baton Rouge when I was on tour, and he asked me out, and I went out with him. And when I told him I was Jewish, I was the first Jew he had ever met. And he says, I always thought the Jewish people had horns. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
So I encountered those kinds of things because this was like the early 1970s, the late 1960s. And, a lot of these, we were playing a lot of these colleges, and a lot of these young people that I was meeting had never met a Jewish person before.
Lucky them. No, I kid. Now, here's the deal. You have been delightful to stay a little extra time with me to interview
All right.
you. Now I got to bring Dave Lefkowitz in.
I understand.
You do. So much as I would love to stay and see more of your tuchus and your boobies and everything you're doing, I cannot. But Dave, oh boy, he's going to be here, and you're going to play the Today, Yesterday Trivia Comedy Quiz with him, David Sheward, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Don't panic.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right. I'll try my best.
Let me get my klezmer music going here. Hold on. Don't go away, everybody, except I'm going away. Hold on. Where's the music? Where's the goddamn music? Oh, it says this is Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on this Saturday morning. I don't even think I identified the day and date yet, but it's Saturday morning, July 23rd, 2022, and you're watching the 859th episode of Day Has Gone By. We're here with somehow we lost the video feed of Andrea.
No, I'm still here. I just. Do you
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, oh, Leslie Hoban Blake is here. You look great. David Sheward, where are you? I love that den room you're in. I love the wood. Where are you?
I am visiting my brother who lives in a little town in Delaware near Rehoboth Beach. So I'm visiting him for the weekend.
Okay,
Look at that. It's all wood. Wow.
Yes. Yeah. I could make a wood joke, but I won't. Leslie, how are you? You're all made up. Are you doing anything special today? Where are you off to?
Supposed to say, no, this is the way I got up out of bed. No, I'm not. Since I have not gotten dressed or gone out since Tuesday, I thought I would make myself look humanoid. And I don't intend to go out until this coming Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Is it because of the BA?
It's because of the heat, not because of COVID. It's because of the heat. No, I can't.
Oh, yes.
I can't handle it, guys. I'm sorry. I am such a wuss. I can't handle heat. I can't handle COVID. I'm just not worth knowing. That's it.
Well, why not just, be in a house dress and
slippers and curlers and
yeah.
Basically, well, I don't bother with the curlers. I mean, I don't bother.
I tried.
I know. That's basically what I do. I throw a shirt on and then I wander around,
And you say, come back, little Sheba.
Yes, I said, with a cigarette dangling from my lips. Yes, that's the.
So, I was a big star once.
David Sheward is a theater critic and also a very performative theater critic, ladies and gentlemen, for theaterlife.com and culturaldaily.com. He also has a blog called The David Desk. And Leslie Hoban Blake has been and is still connected to a show called Two on the Aisle.
Well, let's understand something about that, because I think it's a little unclear. I am the co-producer, so I still do all the background stuff that I've always done. And we've started to shoot again. We did David Sheward. We do want you to come and do something with Charlie, because David Lefkowitz already has, and Charles Wright has, and
all right.
Isa and Diane have all just done things. It's a question of coordinating the schedules. If you tell me what you've seen or have coming up, I'll coordinate it with Charlie. Those are parts of my job that have nothing to do with whether I'm on camera or not.
All right.
And I'm introducing. And in the case of something like Hamlet or Your Style or anything that's a revival, I've seen it, so I can come in at the end and ask a question or two because I know the show, whether I know this particular.
The original production, right?
Say what, dear?
The original production.
The original production, the one in the stone with the masks and sitting on the stone steps, right? In Greek, that's the one I know. I know it very well.
in old Athens.
Right. Yeah. Actually, I saw Melina Mercouri do it in Athens.
Well,
so I did not. I did not. That's a joke. I love Melina Mercouri, so I throw her name into conversation whenever I can.
Hey, does anybody remember mercurochrome? Does anybody remember tincture mercurochrome? Does that still exist?
I don't know. I can't find iodine except in salt.
Oh, wow.
Go try to buy iodine in a store. You can get tincture of iodine that you use like betadine. That you can get, which is a tincture of iodine. But you can't buy the little jars of.
I remember when I was a kid, there was tincture methylate and tincture mercurochrome. One was like more stingy than the other.
What is? I don't even know what methylate is. That one's beyond me. I know what mercurochrome was.
I believe it was a tincture of some sort.
No, I know, but I mean, was it also an anti?
Same kind of thing. You had a thing, and you put it on the thing.
My grandmother lived by iodine. She literally, she bathed herself in it. She covered herself with it because she felt it had properties to keep the elephants away.
Wasn't that a comic strip character, a little iodine?
Yes. Yes.
A little bratty kid who always.
She was like the thing that Fanny Bryce used to play, whatever that character was.
Oh, Baby
She's that
Snow.
kind of character, right?
Baby
Just
Snow.
like that.
Let me ask a question here, though, of Andrea Wolff. Are you there?
Yes.
Why can't
Oh,
we see you?
I hear you.
Why did you go off camera?
I just thought you wanted me to.
No.
Good morning. Why would anyone want a pretty lady like that to
Hi.
be on camera?
That's like I was watching.
Wolff.
A woman after my own heart. Look at your bookshelves. I love them.
Oh, thank you.
She's married to a Jewish lawyer.
Mine are in my mirror reflected.
I was. That's sort of like I was watching Let's Make a Deal the other day, and the contestant's phone dropped, and it said, Lewis's iPhone,
Oh.
because they have a wall of contestants from home.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. So, Andrea Wolff, she is doing a one-woman, well, no, I keep calling it a one-woman show. I'm sorry. It is a musical about her life called Adventures in Vegas. It's being done at the AMT Theater on West 45th Street, the old Davenport.
Oh, that's the new theater, right?
Yes.
And it's running from July 30th through August 24th. So go see it. And it's all about her life, her early years when she was a dancer in Vegas in a review called Bottoms Up. So, yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I was the smallest showgirl to ever enhance the stage. I must say.
Was that part of your thing with the?
Well, I was in the Bottoms Up review, and it was a musical comedy review.
Uh-huh.
So they had the topless, gorgeous, tall showgirls, but I was basically a comic comedian. We did singing, we did dancing, we did skits, off-color skits. We did 2 shows every afternoon at the Caesar's Palace.
Wow.
How long did you do that for?
I was there for about a year, and then we went to Australia
Oh.
at the show, and we were at the South Sydney's Junior Club for 2 months. I almost drowned on Bondi Beach. And then,
Sorry, I'm not laughing. That's not funny, but.
oh, I know, but I got saved by a surfer. Anyway, yeah, and then we came back, and Bottoms Up went on a very long hiatus, and I ended up coming back to New York City.
Oh.
Well, welcome back. I'm very glad to have you on the show, Andrea Wolff and David Sheward and Leslie Hoban.
Thank you.
2 things. Well, one thing just before we start the game, and then we're starting the quiz. But Joyce was kind enough to find out from our friend Stephen, who watches the show and posts the show, and he said that Mercura Chrome is no longer sold because guess why? It had mercury in it.
It had mercury, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
so they
Not
took
a
that off the
song.
market. Yeah.
Wasn't that a song by Paul Simon, or was that Kodachrome?
That was Mercura Chrome.
Yeah, that's kind of
It was
cool.
Kodachrome.
Yeah,
As you well know,
right,
David.
right
Yeah.
answer.
Covers
So,
up
okay.
my nice red scabs. Da-da-da.
Oh, well, I was going to say speaking of scabs, but this has nothing to do with scabs. We have a game to play. It's called the Today, Yesterday Trivia Quiz.
Hagar said that as well.
Now, Andrea.
Yes.
Is it Andrea or Andrea?
It's Andrea.
Whoops.
Andrea is just way too sophisticated for me. I'm
Andrea.
just Andrea.
Andrea. Let me tell the rules. It's fairly simple. It's the questions that are complex and stupid. But the rules are we get trivia questions. They're worth 2 points apiece if you get them right. If you get a question wrong, it goes to one of the other contestants who can get the 2 points if they answer it correctly if you fail to do so. All the questions or some of the questions have to do with things that happened in history on July 23rd. Could have been July 23rd, 1547, 1947, or 2 years ago. That's really about it, except I will ask you, Andrea, to kindly pick a number between 1 and 6 and tell us what it is.
5.
My favorite number!
Oh.
Yay!
It's-
It is. And Leslie, are you your usual? Oh, Leslie, you're.
What? Oh, what?
Never mind. Go ahead. I did it too soon.
Oh, okay.
Is that your number? You're gonna be 4? You're gonna go with a 4 or not?
Yeah, I'll go with 4.
So Leslie.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I
Is
just
that your oh God.
Number.
I can't think of the name of the group. The
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I was going to say the Fabulous Four, and I knew that was wrong.
So Leslie, are you going to be the sickening 6? Is that
Yes, but I have a quick question. Is anybody else having trouble hearing David? Does he seem to be a little muffled? Or is
Oh.
it, maybe it's just my machine this morning?
Usually I come out a little bit lower because my mic is a little.
No,
further
but
away.
it actually sounds muffled to me. That's why I'm
It's
asking.
David Lefkowitz.
David Lefkowitz, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
he sounds
fine.
he sounds fine to me.
Okay, then it's my machinery and I
Well,
won't
I'm
say
just thrilled
anything.
you were able to log on with no problems this week.
That's what you said last night. It's my machinery.
Oh, all right. I'm going to roll a die. We're going to roll this one-sided die, wherever that is. Hold on, I've got to find it.
Forgive us, Andrea, we do this every weekend, so we
No,
sort of
that's
have
okay.
this. You know.
I just wanted to interject. I'm really not that great at trivia, but there was a program on Zoom called Ask America.
Oh,
And I won $8,000.
wow, that sounds
It was
great.
a fluke that I won, though. I have no idea how I won, but the other people.
You won't win
really
$8,000
What was
this
the winning
morning.
question? What was the big $8,000 question?
I think everybody else got it wrong, and I just guessed. It was something about what is the one thing that people are the scariest of? It was like snakes or spiders.
Oh, one of those.
Like, the questions were like, you know.
And what was your answer?
So what was the answer?
I think the answer was spiders, and I think I said spiders.
Oh,
They asked, was it clowns or ghosts? Or you know what? I don't remember. But I remember my husband had just had knee surgery, and I told him to go into the bedroom with the 3 dogs because I couldn't be.
Well, wait till you hear these questions.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready.
David Sheward. I rolled a 4.
Okay.
So you can choose to go first, second, or third.
I'll go first.
Whoa, David Sheward going first. I'm going to roll the die again, and we're going to see what comes up. It's a 1. It's a 4 again. It's a 1. It's a 5. Andrea, would you rather be second or third?
Second.
Andrea second. Leslie.
Then I want to go third.
I don't know. I'll have to check.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, okay,
Make sure,
Leslie,
see
we
if
can
it's
let you do
okay.
that. So the first
Nobody
question,
minds.
first question of our Today Yesterday trivia quiz on this July 23rd, 2022 goes to you, David Sheward.
Okay.
If you get this right, you get 2 points and you get on the board. It's a multiple choice. The year was 1453. Upset by high taxes, the Belgian town of Gaunt revolts but loses today at the Battle of Gabera. The winner was Philip III, Duke of Burgundy. Which of these is false about the Duke? A. He had at least 18 illegitimate children. B. His nickname was Philip the Good. C. He captured Joan of Arc and ransomed her to the English. Or D. His crusade against the Ottomans resulted in more than 10,000 Muslim casualties. Which of
Okay.
these is false?
Which is false?
Philip the Duke of Burgundy.
Okay. Now, and did you mention the year in there?
Well, this was the year 1453 was the year he put down a revolt.
Okay. And that happened today.
Today, July 23rd.
I think, okay, it is possible that he was the one that captured Joan and ransomed her to the British because, wait a minute. Let me think for a minute. Patrick Page played the Duke who sort of sponsored her in the last revival.
I love
that. And then the guy, Daniel Sunjata, was the bastard.
Oh, he's a nice actor.
Who?
No, it's the reference point.
The character was, but I don't remember there being. And I'm trying to remember what the battle was and who ransomed her to the British. Now I'm too hung up on Joan of Arc. He had 18 illegitimate children. His nickname was Philip the Good. He ransomed Joan of Arc, or he had a big battle with a lot of Muslim casualties. Which of those?
Very good.
Only one of these is false.
I think. Okay, I think the Joan. I'm trying to remember the Joan of Arc characters, and I don't know if it was wait, hold it. Read again his credentials, where he's from, and all that.
Okay. The original question was, on this date in 1453, upset by high taxes, the Belgian town of Gaunt revolts but loses today at the Battle of Gabera. The winner was Philip III, Duke of Burgundy. Which of these is false about the Duke?
Oh, Burgundy is in France. So was Belgium part of France then? I'm overthinking it probably. You know what? The Joan of Arc part.
Is that your
What letter is that?
final answer?
It's C.
Joan of Arc is C. So,
C. I'll
that
say
your
Joan of Arc.
final answer?
Yeah.
Well, you had a fine story arc going, but it just tailed down, way down. No, that was true. He actually did catch her and ransomed her to the English. We have.
And who played it in the last Broadway revival?
Oh, what's her name? Oh,
I know it was Condola Rashad was Joan
Right.
of Arc, but who was it? Patrick Page? Oh well, whatever.
Well, I don't know, but Andrea.
Yes,
Believe it or not,
Andrea.
rolled a 5, which means that you can get on the board and steal 2 points if you get this question right. And no fair staring down at your cell phone like you've been doing the
All
whole
right,
time.
no worries, David. But believe me, no worries. Okay, go ahead.
So you get to choose. Do you want me to read the things again?
So far, your audience is not getting.
Oh, you mean so I get the same question?
Yes.
Oh, I get the same question. I'm going to say that he was not called the good.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Well, it was a good answer, but not for you.
That's right.
Yeah, he was called Philip the Good. Leslie Hoban Blake,
What letter was that?
that was B.
so I get to choose between 18 illegitimate children or 10,000 dead Muslims.
Basically, yes. As most of us have.
That's my choice in life.
That's what you said last night.
I know, David. I know.
No, he wasn't a Nazi.
You would have no idea the kind of conversations David and I have at night. It's amazing. The things we talk about.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that he had more than 18 illegitimate children. So I'm going to go with A as false.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, Leslie, I'm no.
You're just looking for something funny to say, or what?
No, because the question was the answer was worded. He had at least 18 illegitimate children. So when you
so if he had more, it doesn't matter.
it would have been fine. But I stumped the panel. I'm afraid I can't give you those points because the true thing was he wanted to start a crusade against the Ottoman Empire, and he vowed to kill a bunch of. It was literally called the Vow of the Pheasant, but he never got to do it.
So the answer is D.
So D was the correct answer.
Answer is D. Okay.
But Leslie, yeah. So if you picked the wrong thing.
Yeah, the reasoning doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The reasoning doesn't matter.
Bad now with these two very smart people.
Wait, I have a question.
I don't feel so
Wait,
bad.
David, I don't know. I don't want to sound like Dr. Sue, but first of all, I think that David Sheward should get a half a point for being able to run off that whole list without having to look at anything when he went down the thing. That's for you, David. And for me, are you saying that I lost because I gave you the reason behind the false?
No, you lost because it was the wrong choice. But
False is not the answer. Okay.
Wrong. Yeah.
I misunderstood what you said. I thought you were saying because I bothered to tell you what my reasoning was, I lost.
No.
Okay.
The thing was, you said, yeah, I think it's wrong because I think he had more than 18 illegitimate children, but that was built into the answer. You could have.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes. All right.
Yeah.
Well, at least I knew what false meant this time.
So he did have more than 18?
He might have. We know.
He
of
said
it.
at least.
Oh.
I didn't listen for the qualifier.
Okay.
I had a problem.
All right, it
there.
doesn't make any difference.
Yes, right.
So the answer was D. That
Just like
the Ottomans and all that.
Just like the Electoral College.
Yeah. Whether he did anything to couches or side tables, I don't know. But Ottomans were left alone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the second question of our Today Yesterday quiz. Why am I holding this? Which goes directly to Andrea. So Andrea, you can be the first on the board if you get this multiple choice question correct.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. The year was 1599. Italian painter Michelangelo Merisi, soon to be known as Caravaggio, gets his first public commission to paint the Contarelli Chapel in the Church of San Luigi dei Francesi in Rome. According to Sotheby.com, which of these is false about Caravaggio?
Okay.
A, when he was 8 years old, he tried unsuccessfully to drown his father because the boy caught him cheating on his mom with her sister. B, he once threw a plate of artichokes at a waiter because they were undercooked. C, he was given a knighthood, which was then taken away because he assaulted another higher ranking knight. Or D, Martin Scorsese singled out Caravaggio's paintings as an influence for both Taxi Driver and Mean Streets. Which of these is false?
All right, well, it's just gonna be a guess. I'm gonna say C.
You're going to say C. It is not true that he was given a knighthood, which was then taken away because he assaulted another higher ranking knight. You're saying
Right.
that did not happen. Final answer?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to give you a Dark Knight of the Soul, but that is not the correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good try, Andrea. Good
Yeah.
try.
Good try.
All right, well, you know.
A lot of people don't get any points in this quiz at all. It happens.
Okay.
What letter is that? No. Okay, hold on. Because people are playing along at home, and my wife is like signaling to me whether. Yeah.
That was C.
That was C, but
That was C.
some people are saying, yeah. Here we go. We have rolled a 6. Leslie Hoban Blake,
Oh, my goodness.
steal this question.
Well, I think I have read that Scorsese did say that he used Caravaggio, saw Light and Shadow in both of those movies. So I think it's only between drowning his father and artichokes. And I want it to be that he tried to drown his father. So I'm going to say when he was 8. Oh, wait, it's false. Okay.
False. Which one is false, Leslie? Yes, yes.
Yeah. I always have to go back and do that. Right. But throwing a plate of artichokes is so banal. I mean, what would you, is it like you had to find something, you couldn't think of a fourth thing? I'm going to say, okay, he was 9 when he tried to drown his father. I'm going to say A.
You're going to say A is false. You're saying
Yes.
A is wrong.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yeah, you're trying to help me there? Yeah, no, final answer.
Well, Leslie Hoban Blake, you are in the swim of things. You're getting 2 points there. And I will say, I'm not that anal anymore, where it's just going to be a year off. What actually happened was, when he was 6 years old, Caravaggio lost his father and both grandparents to the plague. So it's not like there was no chicanery going on. He didn't even have a father at that point. So that's why it was a false.
Poor baby. That must be why he put so much dark in his paintings.
Yeah, and he was also a dark personality. He was very volatile. A waiter gave him undercooked artichokes, and he took it as an insult. So he threw them back at the waiter. He was exiled in Malta after.
But I've done that. Hasn't everybody done that at some point or other? I mean,
I've done it with string beans, actually.
Right, exactly. If it isn't artichokes, it's something.
And Martin Scorsese said, this is a quote, that his films were, it's basically the Calling of St. Matthew, but in New York. He said that about Taxi Driver. So, yeah. Well done, Leslie Hoban Blake, with 2 points on the board.
I know David knew that Scorsese thing, right, David?
I'd heard it, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well,
So that's an A. So it's D and A so far.
yeah, exactly.
Andrea, David thinks he has what's the word? I can't think of it.
A system.
A system. Thank you.
Or you can go by letters if you're just guessing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
By the way, just to take a second off, did any of you read the horrible thing about poor, oh God, now it won't come to me. The writer, oh, this is awful. The writer of,
Christopher Durang.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Who can't remember words? I think that's very funny. I'm sorry. Not that he can't remember words, but that I can remember his name.
Yeah.
He's suffering from a very bizarre form of aphasia. And John Augustine said, it's just terrible. It's been going on for 5 years.
No,
So it's so sad. He's such a wonderful, he's still with us. He's such a wonderful person, though.
Mhm.
I didn't read the piece. Can he still get words to write, or he can't even
No.
speak? No.
He can't find the words.
Wow.
Oh,
His vocabulary has shrunk to a minimum of necessary words, and that's about it.
Wait, what's this? It's
2
Willis and
ducks?
Christopher
I don't
Durang
know.
Dinner.
Say it
It's
again.
what?
It's Bruce Willis and Christopher Durang having dinner.
Oh God. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
I'm telling on you.
Yeah, I know. All right, look, we have one more question, but here's the deal. One more question in this round. Leslie, you already have 2 points. You can
I'm gonna quit now. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead.
No, but wouldn't you like
Leaving
the
now.
opportunity to try for 2 more?
Yes.
course you would. And if you get them, you get 4 points total. Here we go. End of the first round of the Today Yesterday quiz. Leslie, the year was 1764. Lawyer and political activist James Otis publishes one of his incendiary pamphlets, the one that cautions taxation without representation is tyranny. But which of these is false about James Otis?
I thought it was going to be about taxes. Okay.
Or elevators.
Taxes other than
Right.
A. Otis once resigned from a prestigious legal job in Boston because the governor wouldn't appoint his dad Chief Justice. Whenever Otis regretted being disloyal to the crown, his daughter was often the first one to rekindle his revolutionary spirit. C. Late in Otis's life, John Hancock threw him an honorary dinner, but Otis left early because he was so mentally ill. Or D. He died when he was struck by lightning. Which of these is false about James Otis?
Was that John Hancock who threw him the dinner, you're saying?
Allegedly.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure I had the,
Hancock,
I
yes.
make notes so I can refer back, and I'm trying
Of
to,
course.
I only got John H and I wasn't sure. Okay,
It's kind of my signature question.
right.
Hancock joke there.
So one of these is false.
Correct.
I'd love it to be that his daughter was the actual firebrand, but because she was a female, she couldn't do it, so she pushed her father into it. That's a great movie. I would watch that movie. But it's probably not true. They were all dying by being struck by lightning. It was that damn Ben Franklin and his kite. They were all getting struck by lightning.
It was shocking.
The CSI Boston had that as one of their.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that tickled me. I don't know whether it's really funny or not, but okay. I'm going to say that he was ticked off that they wouldn't give his father the job.
so you're saying that is false?
Yes, nepotism being higher than politics on this. No, not politics. Then oh, I'm having such a bad morning with words. Forget it. I can't make a joke. Let's just jump to. I think A is the answer.
You think A is the false answer? That he once resigned from a prestigious
Yes.
legal job
Yes.
in Boston because governor wouldn't appoint his dad Chief Justice. Final answer.
Yeah.
Well, Leslie Hoban Blake, no justice, you will have no peace. That is not the correct answer. He actually did resign from that gig. So let's roll the die, which comes up. Sorry, it came up number 2. Here we have a number 5, Andrea. You can tie Leslie.
Come on, Andrea, you can do it.
All right, now
Come on, girl.
the one that you just said wasn't right was A, correct?
Right.
All right, okay. So it's B, C.
Indeed.
Okay.
And you're welcome to have a pen and paper. Actually, you'll need one later for the.
Yeah, no, I just wrote that down.
Oh, good.
So could you just throw those by me just one more time real quick? please?
Absolutely. Your choice is about which of these is false about James Otis.
Okay.
Is it B, whenever Otis regretted being disloyal to the crown, his daughter was often the first one to rekindle his revolutionary spirit? C, late in Otis's life, John Hancock threw him an honorary dinner, but Otis left early because he was so mentally ill? Or D, he died when he was struck by lightning?
It's not true, not true, not true. I have no clue, but I'm just going to say D because I don't know. It sounds weird that he would be struck by lightning and died, but I don't know.
But,
So-
well, is that what you want to take that guess as D, the lightning thing?
Yes, it's not true.
Oh, I wanted so much to get a charge out of your answer, but he was killed by lightning. I'm sorry. David
Okay.
Dangerous David Sheward can get
All
an
right.
award here.
So we have B or C left. So it's either his daughter rekindled his revolutionary spirit when his elevators weren't working,
Yeah.
or C, John Hancock threw him a dinner and he had to leave because he was mentally ill.
There you go.
I don't know. He sounds like a real volatile guy, He threw artichokes at his mother and drowned his father.
Well, now I get back to the Caravaggio guy.
And he added, he quit because his father was not Chief Justice. So that's true. He was struck by lightning and died. And so either his daughter had to sort of get him out of his funk, or he had mental problems. All right, I'll go with C. That the dinner, that he did not lead the dinner because of mental illness. He left because the artichokes were undercooked.
As would I. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, all right, C.
Oh, David Sheward, you are going to bed without supper, I'm afraid, because he was very, very mentally ill for many years of his life, and Hancock tried to do a nice thing for him, but he couldn't stay at the dinner. He was not compos mentis at that point. And yes, he was watching a thunderstorm from a friend's house when lightning just went zap, and that's what killed him. But here's the deal. Otis, even he started as a loyalist, but then he became a real revolutionary. His daughter married a British captain, and Otis disowned her. So it was the opposite of her.
Oh, so that was the law.
The other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
So did they know much about mental illness? I mean, the diagnosis was after the time? I mean, is it just think people were strange, or there were humors, or?
Believe it or not, he was. They don't say when or where this happened, but at one point he was bound and taken away in a chair, not from the dinner, but at another point when he was
Okay.
like at the
Like,
Revolutionary
well,
Council.
they had King George III, so they must have known something.
That's true. But he wasn't mentally ill. He had a different disease, as we now know from the movie.
Well, the manifestations were.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, but this guy, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, okay, I stumped the panel. And we still have a 2-0 game. Anything can happen in round 2 of the Today Yesterday quiz here on Dave's Gone By.
Fighting.
So we're playing with Andrea Wolff. We're playing with David Sheward and with Leslie Hoban Blake. We begin, though, this next round with a question for David Sheward.
Okay.
We'll go a little different here. This week in the news, President Biden came down with COVID-19, suffering mild symptoms that include runny nose, fatigue, dry cough, and, oh yes, a failing presidency. But he's not the first commander-in-chief to come down with the disease. Which of these was not a presidential illness combo? A, James K. Polk and cholera. B, William Howard Taft and alcoholism. C, Dwight D. Eisenhower and Crohn's disease. D, Ronald Reagan and urinary tract infections.
Wait a minute. FDR was Crohn's, you're saying?
Whoa. Dwight D. Eisenhower
Oh,
and
DD.
Crohn's is
Yeah.
C.
And Reagan and urinary tract infections.
Right.
All right, so my
all of
choices
these are
are,
a true combo except one.
which is the false one?
Right.
So it's James Polk and cholera, Taft and alcoholism, Eisenhower and Crohn's disease, and Reagan and urinary tract infections. Well, that could be any one of them,
Urgent care visit,
Now, Crohn's disease, is that where you have to go to the bathroom all the time?
It's a bowel, it's a disease of the bowel.
Yes.
And so Reagan, you're saying, also had to go to the bathroom a lot.
Don't we all?
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. No.
Yeah, right.
Taft was, well, everybody was an alcoholic then, when Taft was around, which is false. What?
Like Bewitched.
What about Bewitched?
They're all drinking during that show.
Well, everybody was drinking, and smoking. That was my brother putting his 2 cents.
Hi, brother. Hey, does anyone come on camera and we can see David Sheward's brother and just take a look at you too?
You want to say hello, Jonathan?
All right.
He doesn't hate the show like your mother does.
No.
Hi, Jonathan.
He's
Hello.
very right.
That's my brother.
Oh.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Sideways, you look slightly like my brother.
Wow, it's a close-up with Ray close.
Do you always go sort of side 45-degree
Does he
angle?
defy gravity?
Yes.
Does he defy gravity?
People always point and stare.
Nice to
Um,
meet you, sir. What is
Nice
your
to meet
name?
you. Jonathan.
This is Jonathan Sheward.
Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
So, all right. So which is false? Polk and James Polk and cholera.
Right.
Oh, God.
Taft and alcohol. You know, I'm going to say Taft and alcoholism.
Why not?
Why
Any
not?
explanation?
I don't think he became Chief Justice. I don't know. I'm just going to say Taft. I don't remember hearing too much about Taft being a drunk. Plus, he was incredibly big and heavy, so he may have, even if he drank too much,
He probably could absorb it, yeah.
he absorbed it and was able to hold it.
So is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'll say Taft and alcoholism.
Oh, well, I drink to you, David Sheward, because tense moment as you wait. That is the correct answer.
Yay!
Wow.
2 points on the board. Here's the deal. Even though he was a large fella, Taft was a straight arrow, non-smoker, and he was a teetotaler even 3 years before he even became president. So he wouldn't really even touch
He
it.
was just a cake eater. He ate everything in front of him.
So do I. At some point, I'm gonna balloon.
Well, you know why he became Teddy Roosevelt's vice president?
No,
He was worth 3 electoral votes.
There's always a reason, and it's always electoral votes.
Because he was so fat. Get it?
Yeah, I get. That's why I laughed.
Get it? Get it?
It took me a moment.
Just got it when you explained it. Thank you.
Get it?
David Sheward has a dry wit, kind of like
Yeah.
Right.
kind of dry life. So we have a 2-2 game here between David Sheward and Leslie Hoban Blake. But you're not out of it. You're still well in it.
So that was two B's in a row.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the buzz. Okay, so here's the deal, Andrea.
I'm out.
I apologize for this, but you're gonna get, your next question
Oh,
is a special kind of a different question that we do here on Dave's Gone By on the Today Yesterday quiz. It's rather different. It's called 3 Clues in the News. Let me explain as best I can. So I'm going to give you 3 separate words. These words are not connected to each other, but each individual word is connected to the word that we are looking for that you will tell us if you can figure it out. And that word that we're looking for has something to do that's something that happened in the news this past week. Okay, a little complicated, but for example, let me give you my a couple of my usual. Where is it? Hold on. Where is it?
couch, sweet.
Couch. Here it is. Couch, sweet, and vegetable. What does that make you think of? What word?
House.
So it could be couch blank or blank couch, sweet blank or blank sweet, and then a vegetable. What word might come to your mind?
He's giving you a hint. I don't know that you can recognize it, but it's a hint.
Wolff is shutting down the office for Mike's retirement party.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, time to put down your Microsoft Office text.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Are you watching it with the sound off while we do the show?
No, I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
That's what she said. So, Andrea, you want to take
That's a potato.
Oh, there you go. Vegetable, potato's a vegetable, and sweet potato. Right. So it works like that. The words themselves are not connected. Each word is connected to the word we're looking for. Got it?
Okay.
Let's try. Let's go with this.
All right.
The words are weak, tank, loan.
Weak tank loan.
Yes.
LOAN.
Yes.
Weak. WEEK.
Yes.
Okay. Weak.
David has it, I think. It's one of those things where sometimes you get it immediately or you just never get it. It's kind of that kind of thing.
Tank.
So remember, you can go blank the word or word blank.
Okay. Tank weak. Tank. The tank one is the one that's throwing me.
Do we have any?
I don't know.
From our
I don't know. I ain't got no idea.
Well, if you want to guess, one thing that
Before your show. Tell her
Yeah.
she doesn't
So
know.
if you don't know the answer, you're also welcome to just say Adventures in Vegas or give your website.
All
And-
right, Adventures in Vegas, and if you want to look at my website, it's Andrea Bell, Bell, Wolff, WOLFF.com.
There you go. Easy,
There you
easy plug. It is not the correct answer, however. So I'm going to roll the die, and we're going to see if David gets another 2 points, or I'm not sure if Leslie has it here. I've got 1, a 2, a 3.
For a
Wait.
second, I thought she was frozen.
No, I was thinking.
Well, Leslie, I wonder if you've thought about it because your number came up. I got a number
I
6.
did think about it. I think the word is shark.
Is that your?
Yeah, it
No,
just
it
came
was-
to me while you were doing that, David.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I saw the look of disappointment on your face. But
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Hold it. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. Shark, you say? Shark, it is. Yes, you are one kitten, not shy at all.
Because, yeah, I got it. As soon as you said it, I thought it has to be shark.
And I didn't get it until just that minute before it was my turn.
Wow. Shark,
That's Andrea. Don't feel bad about that. You can't overthink them. They just they happen. Your
Shark
brain
Tank.
plays weird tricks on those. It really
Moon
does.
shark also, of course. And the reason being
Sharks on Long Island.
Sharks all over the place.
That's
That's
right, yes.
You know, when they
were
said
all over the news.
Sharknado, when they made a movie called Sharknado, I thought, oh, this is insane. And we now have a Sharknado. I mean, there are sharks.
Well, not
everywhere.
literally. They're not falling
They're
out of the
dropping from
sky.
in a typhoon.
But, well,
right?
but that's the next step.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping.
You know, I mean,
Yeah. Well, Leslie, you are in the lead. You have 4 points now. David Sheward has 2. Andrea not yet on the board, but that can of course change. However, Leslie, you can take a bigger lead because this next thing. Thank you for for. Let's sing a song.
thank you, David. I'm so thrilled that everybody's so happy for me. Thank you. So nice.
I'm happy for everyone who's playing the game and enjoying it and winning, or losing.
Oh, just playing. Just
Yes.
It's just for playing the game.
Yes.
We all know that.
No.
There's no $8,000, Andrea. There's Andrea. There's no.
yeah, well, it's probably good because I don't think I would have made a
He
cent.
probably told you that there was a cash prize, right? Is that
No.
how he got you to stick around? He said, "Oh, there's big money."
Yeah,
I
you know,
did
I'm
win-
good at basically common sense things, history
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Not so good.
Okay, right.
I did win some money on Cash App.
You won some money doing what?
On Cash.
Oh, we lost your mic there. Something happened with your mic, David.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, back.
Now, yes.
Cash Cab. Wait, you were in Cash Cab?
Yeah, I was on an episode of Cash Cab.
Ah,
I don't know. How did I not know this? Is it on YouTube somewhere?
Maybe I haven't looked for it.
Did they give your full name, or you just David, or what? Did they give it?
Yeah, they gave my full name.
how long ago was it, Dave?
5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Wow. So you had no idea. You just hailed a cab and
No.
you got in.
It was prearranged.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, they told me it was for a pilot for a new show.
Oh,
They didn't say it was for Cash Cab.
got you.
There's
I was going to say I travel almost exclusively by cab.
And we had to do it twice. We got in the cab and it wasn't right, so we had to do it again and act surprised.
Oh, that's too cool.
Oh,
See,
you're
all
right.
those reality shows.
Yeah.
All of those reality shows are like that.
But that's a game show. That goes back to like what was his name?
Let's make a deal or
Well,
something.
the one back in the game show, Scandal Days and all of that. Like,
Oh,
I mean, you reenacted getting the right answer.
Yeah, but we
Right.
weren't given no. We on that show, but we didn't reenact the answers. We didn't know the answers. The scandals in the 50s where the people were given the
given
answers.
the answer.
Oh, but you had to get in the cab again.
You had to just get in the cab again. We didn't
Oh,
redo the answers. No, of course not.
But here's the thing that annoys me. I take cabs almost everywhere. And I had to go to the doctor Tuesday. That's when I said I went out on Tuesday. And because it's on the Upper East Side and I live on the Lower West Side on the river, my cab fare each way was roughly $27.
Hmm.
And I wasn't going to take a cab back, except I stepped into the street to cross the street when I put my foot on the side on the pavement, and the heat went right through my shoe and up into my forehead. I went knowing there was a cab coming and I grabbed it, but I just, nobody can afford to keep doing that for any length of time.
Well,
I mean,
are you
it's
Ubering
insanity.
everywhere? I mean, not that
Well-
Uber would be much cheaper, but
Elon Musk can.
yeah, he could. Yeah.
Right, but okay, you're right. But he wouldn't. He'd have a Tesla at his command.
You know,
But I was going to take the bus back. I was walking toward the bus stop, and I didn't make it past the step off the
Okay.
sidewalk.
Yeah, but thank God you won't have to go to the doctor. I hope.
No,
every
no,
day.
no. I know, but no, that's a whole other story. We won't even go there.
No,
Um,
we'll go there.
we
Leslie,
won't go
I have a question for you. A real question, a multiple choice question.
Oh,
It goes
okay.
back to July 23rd, 1966. Released today by Warner Brothers is the novelty hit They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha, written and performed by Jerry Samuels, aka Napoleon XIV. That was far from the strangest song title on one of Napoleon XIV's two albums.
Oh.
Which of these was not a Napoleonic tune? A, The Place Where the Nuts Hunt the Squirrels. B, A Carrot is as Close as a Rabbit Gets to a Diamond. C, Photogenic Schizophrenic You. Or D, The Song I Wrote for Robert Goulet.
I love all of the titles, but I specifically love D. Wait, that's not my answer. I'm still writing down the clues so I can look at them.
Of course,
What is number C again? Photo something what?
Photogenic Schizophrenic You.
Wow. If you thought up two or three of these, David, and they're not real, I doff my non-existent cap to you.
Well, only one of them is not real.
I see. Okay, you only had to think of one of them. Okay, all right. And then I'll put my hat back on. It's all right.
Yeah, keep your hat on. Yes, yes. You can leave your hat on, but that's a very different song by
Yeah, that's indeed, and it's a different situation entirely. Okay, I am looking at my paper. Give me a second.
David, is it?
Yes.
I swear, I think these are so wonderful. I can't choose among them. I'm going to have to. Okay. I'm going to say, well, Robert Goulet was pretty big in 1966. He was everywhere. I think, but I'm pretty sure it's right around Camelot or right after Camelot. I don't know which, but okay. So what I'm wondering about is how big the crazy Napoleon 14 was. I don't recall. I remember that song, but I don't recall any other songs by them. So he was the Weird Al Yankovic of his day, obviously. Okay, I'm going to say the song I wrote for Robert Goulet is not something that he would have written.
Is that your final answer?
It is my guess of the day, yes. You sure?
Well, Leslie Van Blake, I'm afraid you are not in Camelot. That is, in fact, the title of a song that was written or performed by
Okay.
Jerry Samuels, aka Napoleon XIV.
Okay.
Roll the die. We have the number 5. Andrea, you can get on the board here.
Come on, girl, you can do it.
All right, I think it's the one I dangled a carrot in front of a rabbit or something, not a diamond. What was that, B?
Who's B?
A carrot is as close as a rabbit gets to a diamond.
I think it's that one. I think that's false.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Andrea, but I don't know if I can give you a diamond that's 13 carat, but yes, you are dining on carrots. Yay! 2 points on the board for Andrea. That is a legitimate song title, but it's from Captain Beefheart, not from Napoleon.
Oh, okay.
Captain who?
Captain Beefheart, him I know.
You don't know Captain Beefheart?
It sounds vaguely familiar. What was his big hit?
I never really had.
Never heard of this guy either.
Captain Beefheart, the Magic Band. Oh my God! Trout Mask Replica is one of the most important albums ever.
My dog is waving its tail at you. One of my dogs.
It's like
I would wave mine back, but it's not a pretty.
Doesn't ring a bell.
All right.
No.
Check it. It's alternate outside music, but some of it's absolutely great. If you go back and listen to the first 10 years of Dave's Gone By, our theme music was Tropical Hot Dog Night from Captain Beefheart's album Shiny Bee Spat Chain Puller. But yep, it's just okay. Check him out. It's Captain Beefheart.
Okay.
Anyway, the important thing here is that Andrea is on the board with 2 points and only 2 points behind David. Tied with David, only 2 points behind Leslie Hoban Blake as we move into round 3 of the
Okay.
yesterday quiz.
Okay.
So, this is it. Anybody's game. Anybody's game. We have 3 more questions and then the
Get more
tiebreaker.
right at home.
Okay.
David Sheward,
Uh-huh.
you know what it's time for.
3 clues in the news again?
Of course it is. Yes, it is. Your 3 clues in the news. Are you ready?
Yes.
And the clues are dead,
Dead.
stroke,
Stroke.
Oh, I know what it is.
white.
Is it David?
Oh, it's got to be heat.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I think it's heat.
Wow, David's taking longer.
You
to
are
answer
on a hot
questions
streak
than-
there. I maybe made. No offense, not that was easy, but can I make that one too easy? Was that too? Yeah.
Well, dead. Yeah, it took me a minute when you said dead and stroke. I wasn't sure, but then white, and that's an obscure. Not. I mean,
not obscure. Jimmy Cagney.
it's not obscure to people who are, movie fans.
But it's also an expression besides being the movie title.
Of a certain.
It's Velvet
The
Underground
person who
song.
asked is Andrea. I'm sorry. It's Andrea. I'm sorry I
It's
did
okay. You
that.
can call me whatever you want.
Except late for dinner. But anyway, did you also get it? Because I got it too. So.
I when they put down, as soon as stroke came down, I thought of that, but
That's
Yeah.
what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the answer to yes. The fact that we all got
heat.
it, immediately. Not that means that it was too easy, but just that it's in our forebrains.
It's in our- because it's
right
Yeah,
now.
because you just said you stepped on the sidewalk like in a science fiction movie.
I
And the
know.
heat into
I
your
know.
head.
I know.
And I mentioned this earlier in the show. Both Texas and Oklahoma 3 days ago hit 115. So yeah.
Did you
And
see
then-
what happened in the Bronx?
What?
There was a sinkhole on a Bronx street.
Mhm.
The sidewalk opened up and swallowed a van.
Wow. It was hungry.
But it was in the Bronx. I mean, it's not, in some place where we get sinkholes. They get them in
Blacktop
California
and
all the time.
hard,
What?
It just blacktop.
when did that happen, Leslie?
Wednesday, I think.
Because my husband's goes to the Bronx like every single day practically. I would wonder.
It was some side street and there were little houses. It was not apartment houses.
Oh,
but
it wasn't
individual
like
houses.
near the courthouse or anything.
No,
Okay.
no.
Thank God. Yeah. So, all right. Here's the deal, though. We now have a tie game between David Sheward and Leslie Hoban Blake, but with Andrea Bell Wolff only a couple of points.
Pulling up the lead, pulling up the rear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Story of my life. Story of my life.
The interesting and exciting thing here is that if Andrea gets this question correct, we will have a 3-way tie.
Huh?
And so if you've ever wanted a 3-way with Andrea Wolff, this is going to happen right here. We hope. Here we go.
I'm sorry. Do you want to hear something really insane? I said pulling up the rear. There was pause, and my little helper on my phone said, for that, you'll have to turn off airplane mode. They're watching us all the time, guys. Whatever you're
Oh
doing,
my
just don't do
God.
it.
Yeah, Facebook, all these people. Not,
So should I do it? Should I do it and see what happens? No, all right, never mind.
Turn on airplane mode.
yeah.
It says turn off airplane mode. For that you'll have to turn off airplane mode. I'm taking a picture of that. No, I
Yeah, you're
can't.
gonna
It
bring
just
up
went
your
away.
rear right here. All right.
It went
here's the
away.
deal.
I know. That's so funny. I'm so sorry.
Now, Andrea, this is not a multiple choice question. We're gonna ask you this and see if you can answer in your own words
Okay.
this question. The year, remember, everything is on this date. So July 23rd, 2018. Sabrina by Nick Dermaso tells of different conspiracy theories that follow the murder of a young woman. Critically acclaimed, it was longlisted for the Booker Prize. Why was that not only unusual, but a historic first?
Because the woman was a nymphomaniac and an alcoholic, and so therefore she had to go into a mental institution where she had a relationship with a rabbi there by the name of Saul Solomon, and got an STD and then died. I have no idea.
Most of that is true.
That was David's answer, Leslie's answer last week.
Especially the South Solomon part, right?
Can you repeat the answer for the judges? Is that
That's my answer. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a wonderful answer. It has nothing to do with reality. I'm gonna
I
go to the die. I'm gonna roll a die. Leslie Hoban Blake. This is major. You can break the tie here and get.
I'm going to say that it was a graphic novel, and that may be the first graphic novel to win that prize
Or be shortlisted.
or be shortlisted. Yeah,
Long listed. I guess it's
whatever the phrase is. That was my thought on that.
Is that your final answer, though?
Yes, sir.
Well, fuck me. Sorry, I was being graphic. Yes. Graphic novel it is. Leslie Hoban Blake with 6 points on the board. Oh my God, Leslie, did that just come? Because
Let me just ask something. Do any of the rest of you read graphic novels? I have 20 of them out of the library right now. I love
occasionally.
graphic novels.
Sometimes, yes.
I haven't read one since Mouse. Honestly, it's not my thing.
No, I love graphic novels. I'm addicted, especially the ones by the guy who did Sandman and that series.
Neil
Neil
Gaiman.
Gaiman,
Yeah, Neil Gaiman.
is the writer. He's not the artist.
No, but it's his stories. The stories are just so fantastic.
Yeah.
I read a bit of Fun Home. That was pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then there's another series based on fairy tales called Fables, which Bill Williamson, I think. I'm not sure of the title. Oh, yeah, Bill Williamson, I think. But anyway, just amazing stuff. And I've been hooked on them as an adult for years. I have to go to the young adults part of the library to get them, and I always feel like I'm hanging around a playground or something. They're going to say something to me, but they don't. But that's the only place you can find the graphic novels. They consider them young adult stuff rather than adult
even
material.
now, even no. Joyce,
Yeah.
what were you going to say?
Well, somebody asked if Stephen asked, is Sabrina a graphic novel?
Yes, it is. That was. Oh, so he got it right. He got.
Yeah.
Is it the first graphic novel for the Booker Prize? Even though Mouse won the Pulitzer.
Right.
And
Right.
Yeah.
6 points in the audience.
Stephen is tied with you, Leslie. Stephen is a friend of mine that I've known from a thing I used to go to, where they would send people in media, people to interview, and he's from. Well, I'm not going to say he's from a TV show where he books things involving.
Well, hello, Stephen, and we're good company.
Yeah.
Yes.
With each other, I mean. With each other, I mean.
The right answer, that will be the ticker.
So here's the deal: you're now playing not only against David Sheward and Andrea Wolff, but you're playing
But
against
Stephen.
Blank.
Okay, now I'm going to lose to Stephen, which is not bad enough. I have David to worry about. I'm going to have to lose to Stephen now.
No, I begged this man to be on the show, but as long as he's still working for the network. And
Okay, gotcha.
He can't.
But what a book he's going to write after that. Wow.
Hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Make it
Hi, Stephen.
Stephen, make it a graphic novel, okay?
As graphic as possible, so I'll read it.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, Leslie, this is it. This is the thing. If you get this next question right, you are automatically the winner of the game, even though we'll play the.
Is this the second round or the third round?
Third round?
Okay.
Yeah, we're winning it.
I lose track.
Get it wrong, and David steals. We'll have a tie game.
Okay.
And Andrea, I'm afraid you can't win, but you're still here.
All right, I'm
Well, she's
listening.
still here, right?
I'm
She knows
learning.
just what to
Yes.
say.
You're
Yeah.
never too old to learn.
And
Yeah.
throw back those artichokes.
Scarf him down. Scarf
Leslie.
down them artichokes.
Don't accept bad artichokes.
No, don't.
The job for each of us this week is to go to a restaurant and throw something at a waiter.
Yeah.
I haven't been inside a restaurant beyond
As long
takeout.
as it's a big tip.
Yeah. Well, artichokes don't have tips. They just have. Anyway, Leslie, guess what kind of question this is?
Oh, no, really?
Oh, 3 of them?
Well, yeah, 3, 1 for each. I thought this week. Plus,
Okay.
He's going to give us a show where it's nothing but. That's going to be, All right, go ahead.
Well, we got the last one,
I know.
Here we go.
What's this we, soldier boy? I got the last.
No, I did. Heat.
You got
You
so-
got
Oh,
Shark and
you're
I got
right.
you.
I'm sorry. I knew it. I'm sorry. I didn't get to answer
you
it,
go.
but I knew it. I'm sorry. I
That's
apologize.
what I meant. That
You're
we all
right.
knew heat.
You're right. You got
That's
the
what I
last
meant.
one.
Leslie will know this one too. We'll see.
Oh, now I'm not going to get it because the pressure is too high. Okay, go ahead.
3 clues, 3 words connected to another word that we're looking for. Are you ready?
Right.
The 3 clues are open, bed, license.
Wait, say Say it again slowly.
I'll say them again. Open,
Mhm.
bed, license. And David is nodding.
Oh.
I can't get tennis out of my mind because of open, so now I'm trying to figure out the rest of them.
David.
Give me like 2 seconds more because I'm just
Sure.
I'm not on nothing's. Go see Andrea Wolff's show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I have no idea. As I said, tennis is in my head and it won't come out now. So go ahead, David. It's all yours.
I guess
Well,
if it's tennis, it's making quite a
it'll be
racket
Andrea.
in there. But wait, no, I get to roll the die here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So Leslie, that was your answer. Was Andrea Wolff
Yes.
Adventures in Vegas, which is at the AMT Theater from July 30th through August 24th. Here we go.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
A 3, a 1, a 4. Somebody has a 4. David, oh boy. It sounds like you know this. We have a tie game here.
Marriage.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That's a good one. Good
Well,
one.
even though today is Saturday, not Wednesday, you are correct. David Sheward, marriage is the word that we are looking for. 2 points to you. You are now tied. We have a tie game, as I say. But David, do you know why?
Yes, because the House passed a bill codifying not only same-sex marriage, but I also think interracial marriage. I
I didn't
think.
know that was in there. Okay.
Well, I think it said if marriage is in one state, it's good in other states. And I guess it would include interracial marriages. And
And
then
the shocking thing is, Republicans are going to maybe vote for this in the Senate.
then I think 5 Republican senators said they would.
Mm.
And then Marco Rubio said it's a waste of time. This is stupid.
Oh, well, he's a moron.
And then Tammy Baldwin, who is gay, who is the only openly gay senator, confronted him in the elevator. We don't know what they said, but
She said, "You're stupid," and he said, "No, you're stupid."
and it was sort of like I don't. Yeah, it's sort of like the argument is, oh, this is a waste of time. The Supreme Court already settled it, and it's settled law. It's like, well, what about Roe?
Settled law, right?
What about Roe versus Wade? That was supposed to be settled law too.
Okay, I heard that they had a makeout session in the elevator.
Me too.
Got in there,
Me too.
and so that it was like.
Yeah, I can believe it.
After that, the guy Rubio said, "You know, okay."
And after that, amazingly enough, Clarence Thomas found another pubic hair on his coke.
You know
It was just
what
the
they
things were
say?
flying. Yeah.
Yeah, from 30 years ago.
She actually sacrificed herself for that makeout session too.
Yeah.
Probably did. Well,
Greater love hath no woman than to give up.
Right.
All right.
Now, if she had to make
Gay
out with
woman,
Mitch
especially.
McConnell, that would be oh my God. It's like the rolls of the fat bouncing. I mean, we were talking about that before. That's
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
Anywho, so yow. We have a tie game going into our tiebreaker, which all 3 of you get to play.
Oh,
But
okay.
it does matter whether between Leslie and David, who are tied, if you get this right. But
Okay.
and the way we play the tiebreaker, Andrea, is a little different. I'll
Okay.
read the question, and then you write down your answer, and then I'll read the question again and give a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then when I say so, you'll hold up your
Okay.
answer to the camera.
Okay.
And we all see it at the same time, since this question is to all 3 of you at the same time. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
It's not a multiple choice. You have to write down the actual answer.
Okay.
The year was 1918. In honor of the Major League All-Star game this past week, born today in Kentucky is this 10-time All-Star, a shortstop for the Brooklyn and then the Los Angeles Dodgers. Apart from his play, he was known for his friendship and public support of teammate Jackie Robinson, and also for his nickname, which he got in childhood owing to his mastery of marbles. Name that 2-time World Series champion whose number 1 was retired by the Dodgers in 1984?
Where is my husband when I need him? Mowing the lawn. Okay.
Oh, you have a lawn, my God.
Yeah, I live in the burbs.
Ah,
Okay.
So I know it's a sports question. There's a lot of clues.
even I know this one, and I'm not a sports fan,
So
but I was a
let's-
Dodger fan, and I know from that. I'm pretty sure I know.
Now, Stephen at home, he got that last question right also. So you're kind of battling him. I don't know if David Sheward.
Well, if we all tie, do we have another question?
No, we just have a.
Oh, come on.
We don't know
Well,
that.
let's cross that bridge when we come to it, Dr. Sue.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
this may happen because I don't know.
Oh,
David-
really, David? Oh, you think I don't have it, huh?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't. Maybe Andrea can be an arbiter and ask a trivia question that.
Yes, do that.
So,
Ask us a question about your show.
Well, let's,
do all three of you have a written answer?
yes.
Yes.
I wrote something.
You wrote
Yeah, I
something?
wrote something.
Okay. I'll read the question again, and then I'll give a 3, 2, 1, and then you'll show your answers. The year was 1918. Born today in Kentucky is this 10-time All-Star, a shortstop for the Brooklyn and then the Los Angeles Dodgers. Apart from his play, he was known for his friendship and public support of teammate Jackie Robinson, and also for his nickname, which he got in childhood owing to his mastery of marbles. Name that 2-time World Series champion whose number 1 was retired by the Dodgers in 1984. 3, 2, 1. Hold them up. I got. Okay.
What's so funny?
Is correct. Well, look at David's answer.
I can't. Agnes
yes,
Moorehead. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Plus, we have a beautiful little face there from Andrea, and we have actually a correct answer from Leslie Hoban Blake. It's Pee Wee Reese.
Wow.
Harold Peter Henry, aka Pee Wee, because marbles were little Pee Wees back then.
I always thought it because he was small, but I realized when you said because
No.
of marbles.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, it was Pee Wee Reese. Leslie Hoban Blake with 8 total points.
Ellen.
Did you?
Oh,
win
Stephen
this
and I. You should give Stephen and me a question now.
Stephen, did
Now-
Stephen get it? Did he write the answer?
Well, I don't know.
David is trying to say something.
Was this the role played by Hamish Linklater in the movie?
What movie?
The movie about Jackie
40
Robinson.
42. I don't know. I never saw that movie. 42. I did see the Jackie Robinson movie where Jackie Robinson played Jackie Robinson, which I thought was hysterical
With Ruby Dee.
in the 50s, right?
And Louise Beavers played the mother. Oh.
Louise Beavers always.
She's older. She's Louise Cougars now. but
Pee
yeah.
Wee Reese. Oh my goodness. I needed my husband here to give me that answer.
You know why I said Agnes Moorehead?
No.
Because
No.
because marbles are Aggies.
Oh, I don't believe that. You just thought of that now.
I thought
No,
you were
no, you
supposed
said
to-
Yes.
marbles, and I thought Aggies. Oh, I'll write down Agnes Moorehead, and that'll get a big laugh.
Cerebral.
Yeah.
Well, it did now that you explained it. You got to tell them
Like
what
the-
it is. It ain't funny, but that's
Like the other joke. Wasn't there another joke earlier that I had to explain?
It was an Artie joke. That's right.
Oh.
Dang it. Artie, yeah.
Artie joke, right?
No,
Here
no.
we go.
Artie joke, wasn't he on Laughing?
Oh, and yeah, quite a big Johnson. So here's the deal. Let me give plugs to everybody here. For example,
No, Pee Wee. No, Stephen didn't get. The
He didn't get
last
Pee Wee?
question.
Oh, so Leslie is a big winner.
Leslie, the
Well,
queen
Leslie and
of-
Stephen, because he got the answer too.
No, Stephen did not get it. So
Oh, I got it. Oh, okay. Then I am the big winner. I will take that big winnership.
So let's do Leslie first. Leslie, I know
I'll settle for 2,000, David.
Did you do anything for Two on the Aisle this week? Like any?
Yes, we did. Well, as I say, we had 3 interviews. I don't know whether I said this last week. No, I didn't say it last week. I think we did it this week.
Oh, wow.
I don't know anymore. It all runs together. What are you doing with your free time? What's it when you're not working?
I'm working. I have a full-time gig. I'm working. Yes.
That's year round. I thought it
Yeah,
closed
no,
down
I'm
for
not
the
teaching.
summer.
I work. I do data for my school.
I did not realize. I thought that you guys got, okay, I'll take it back then. because I'm doing absolutely flat out nothing.
Good.
I'm watching
That's what
old
Netflix is
television
for. Yeah.
and sleeping in the day and sleeping in the day and staying up all night. It's crazy. I don't know what, I got to work something out. And I've been writing to the various press agents saying, listen, I'm really sorry, but the COVID rate is up. And I really did have a talk with my doctors, and they definitely do not do this now. And
No.
so anyway, that being said, we did Hamlet with David with Charles Wright, Epiphany with Diane Snyder, and with Isa. What did we do with Isa? Oh, King Richard III. So we did those three.
And you were
Last
part of
week-
the conversation. In other words, you had seen.
Because of the two, I can talk about obviously Richard and Hamlet. So at the end, we talked about, different productions and other things that were specific, not specific to that particular one. And as far as Epiphany went, I'm an old friend of Mary Louise Burke's, and Jonathan Adari was at Circle Rep when I was at Circle Rep, so I got to know him a little bit. So, we just chatted about that kind of stuff. But if I don't stay in the game, I will be out of the game, is the way that works. So I keep my hand in, as it were.
Yes. As I've said, the one thing you can't do is review. You can certainly interview, and you can lend perspective historically. You should absolutely still be part of Two on the Aisle, which people can watch either on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, if you're at, or MAN.org.
We also got answer B for Sabrina's marriage.
Oh, so maybe.
I think he's tied.
All right, maybe.
What did Joyce say?
Well, the thing is, no. Then he would have won the game because he wouldn't have gotten to a tiebreaker. You see.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry about it. So
What? Steve would have won? Stevie would have won?
it's very possible if he got 8 points in the game, as opposed to, but he didn't get the tie.
But he didn't get the tiebreaker.
Well, he wouldn't have had to because he would have had 8 points to 6.
Not get the tiebreaker.
Sorry about that, guys.
Are you barbarians at your gate? What the point is that?
Now, before it's not my turn anymore.
Oh my
Where
God,
did
I'm
you get
so
your
sorry.
bookcase made? Where did you get your bookcase made? Somewhere out where you live?
I'm sorry, what?
Your bookcase, was it built in when you bought the house, or did you have it made?
You know what? I can't even hear you because of the stupid dog barking.
It's about your bookcase. Did you have it made, or was it
Oh,
built in?
no, it was here when we bought the house.
Because I had one built.
That's
and it's
only
almost
part of
the
it. It
same.
goes all the way around the other side too.
If you look at mine in the mirror on my screen, you'll see mine, and I had to have mine built.
Yours is built in also.
And it's
right?
so much like yours. That's why I was saying that. And the other question is, do you know Tamara, your sound person?
What?
Oh, Tamara?
At the theater, Tam or
She's
Tamara?
not the sound person. She is like,
Production supervisor?
yes.
Okay. She and I go back more years than I care to remember.
Really? Okay. Yes,
It's
yes.
all old
Okay.
home.
So I just, listen, before I forget, if you guys, I don't know where you're situated or where you live, but if you want to come to my show, let me know. I would gladly comp you.
I am not going to theater right now, Andrea.
All right,
I'm so
I
sorry. I
understand.
apologize in advance.
That's
I
okay.
have said to people I would try, but I am not even trying.
Thank you for the offer.
Thank you very much. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
You're
But
welcome.
please say hi to Tam for me.
I will.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as long as we're talking about Andrea's show,
Chris, she's doing a Zoom, and he's
well, are you not doing any of this virtually? It's only in person at the AMT Theater, right?
That is correct. I'm not doing it virtually for now.
Right. Okay.
I'm very excited. I think it's a great show. It's very funny. You will laugh. And for an hour and 15 minutes, you will forget about your troubles. And that's all I
And
can
hear
If
about your
only.
troubles, which is the most
Yeah.
important. So it's Adventures in Vegas. It's at the AMT Theater. For more information, and more information just about Andrea in general, it's Andrea Bell, like the bell, Wolff, WOLFF.
Yes.
Oh,
Come.
Stephen wants to see your show.
Stephen, I can't give his last name,
Like,
but he will come to it. It's July
Like-
30th through
All right.
August
So
24th.
I just need his last name so I can put him on my list.
Why don't you email me?
All right.
Yeah, and
So it's like-
Facebook me, and I'll send it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
David,
So it's like, so it's like Tobias Wolff, not Virginia Woolf.
Yes.
exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm not like Big Bad.
Yeah.
Right. So
I love your literary references, David.
Yeah, Uncle Big Bad.
I'm not like Leonard either. Right. Yeah. So
No, Leonard. Yes, Leonard was Virginia's
Yeah.
husband.
Yeah.
He said Stephen
Leonard was
Stephen.
Virginia's husband.
So here's the deal, David. what did you write this week? Where
Well, last week I did the review of Into the Woods,
Mm.
which I called the best. Oh, I was absent last week, so I was visiting my mom.
Sure.
Last week I had Into the Woods, which I did see with Brian Darcy James out and the guy who plays Jack out, but everybody else was in. And
How was the Riding Hood? I didn't dig the replacement for Darcy James that much, but I thought the Riding Hood was great.
Oh, she was great. Julia Lester. She was just brilliant.
No, we saw a different one, but she was.
And I've seen Into the Woods 5 times, and this is the first time I was almost in tears during No One Is Alone, because it really felt that Red Riding Hood she was like, my house has been destroyed, and my mother is dead, and my granny is dead, and I might be killed by this giant, and I could feel her emotion. She was almost in tears, and it felt very real.
That's the one show I really wanted to see. I keep doing this,
I hope it extends. I hope that's one of the things. I have a blog about the New York Post reported, but it's not been confirmed. It's all speculative that it would extend, but it probably won't. And the Post reported about it, and I just relayed that information that the Post had reported about it in a blog, because Piano Lesson is going
exactly right.
into St. James.
Yeah, well, that's
And
what happens.
I don't know if it's too expensive to move Woods to another theater, or the actors' schedules don't work. I don't, so we don't know.
Or the power of Sam Jackson.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean that Woods couldn't go into the Barrymore.
Exactly.
Or the Needle.
It doesn't have a huge set. I mean, it came from Encores.
Yeah.
So it's one of the more.
But it may be, they don't want to spend the money, or they said this is the money we put aside for and anyway. So that's one thing. And I have a review of the show, and I call Woods, I said it was the best. With the exception of Hamilton, probably the best Broadway show in 30 years.
Wow.
Since the Guys and Dolls.
Wow.
Which that's what I felt, that
Right.
having gone to the theater for almost 50 years and going to Broadway for 40 years, I would say it's since that production of Guys and Dolls, this is the most perfect that I've seen.
I can't agree with that. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I have issues with Into the Woods.
Am I correct that they taped it for great performances?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope so.
No,
The original cast was taped for great performances with Joanna Gleason. That's on tape.
I actually did a production of that. I did The Witch in
Oh, really?
production. Yeah, it wasn't on Broadway, but
It's
one of my favorites.
It's a wonderful part.
Right. It is.
And I've just driving to my brother's, which is a 5-hour drive. I was listening to several of the scores, and I also have a review of The Kite Runner.
How was now it opened? So now you can tell us what you thought of it.
Oh, I liked it a lot. It's wonderful. It's doing a big, long saga type novel is very difficult to bring it to the stage.
Right.
And the direction and the adaptation are really very good. The plot it's a little melodramatic, but it's very, very effective. And the acting is wonderful, and the direction is wonderful.
Right. So because I'm so busy with other stuff that I did not make plans to see it. Maybe I should. Is what you're saying.
I would.
Sheward, can you and I coordinate your upcoming shows?
Sure.
So I can get one for you to do for us.
Sure. Just email me or on the app or whatever.
Okay. Because everything you've mentioned is already assigned. That's why.
Okay. Well, the only thing coming up is Oresteia, which I'm seeing on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Charles Wright is going to do that when we've already asked him to do that. There's
contact
nothing
me.
else?
Well, not right now.
But what may I suggest? One that I desperately wanted to see again is Butcher Boy.
Oh,
If you remember Frank Pig Says Hello way back at the IRT, it was a stunner. And now they made a musical out of it. And I sort of can't understand how. But if you remember the story by Patrick McCabe, it was incredible. I'm just mentioning it so that people go to see it.
All right.
I can't, but there you are,
Yeah, sorry.
And I also have another couple of, because I have a little bit more time now that it's the summer, I've been going to the museum, the Paley Center, and watching old episodes of the Carol Burnett Show, which are not available anywhere else. And so I've been blogging about them. There are still episodes where the complete whole 50 minutes are unavailable and have been for years. and certain segments, and there are little bits and pieces that haven't been seen for years. So I'm blogging about that.
Well, cool. I mean, now,
How long is your blog now, David?
How long?
How long is the Carol Burnett blog, literally?
It's like, it varies. It varies.
No, I mean in total.
Oh, part 30. I'm up to part 30.
Wow.
Wow. So we want to tell
Someone
people.
is stealing. Oh, that's you. I thought someone was stealing your pillow. I saw a hand come in.
No, it's me. I'm adjusting my pillow.
I see that now. Yes.
Now, to read David's blog, it's called The David Desk. The David Desk is the name of the blog. And then to read his reviews, as he was saying, of Kite Runner and of Into the Woods and Orstei and everything else when that comes, go to either theaterlife.com or culturaldaily.com. They both the same review gets put up on both, I assume.
Both
right?
places, yes. The same review, both places.
theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com. So it remains for me to thank so much David Sheward, Leslie Hoban Blake, and our brand new, delightful friend of the Daverhood, Andrea Wolff, the starlet of Adventures in Vegas at the AMT Theater, coming at you just a week away and up through mid-August. Thank you very, very much, all of you. Have a fun...
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It was delightful to meet you.
Yes, it was very a lot
Nice
of
to
fun.
meet all of you too.
So
Great.
I'm going to let you go, Andrea. Have a great
Okay.
week. Congratulations on your show.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And guys,
David Lefkowitz, are you coming into town to see things at this point?
Well, all I saw was Into the Woods. I don't know if I'll do the Kite Runner, and I'm literally so busy with something that's happening that.
What day is David gonna go see the Orestia?
When are you going to see the Orestaya, David?
Wednesday of next week.
Stephen's going Monday.
You won't cross paths. And it's like,
You will see. You will meet. Charlie will be there on Monday.
Oh, great. Oh, cool. Our mutual friend Charlie Gross, who co-hosts, of course, Two on the Aisle with Leslie. So, and Leslie, to your question, at the moment, I'm just on Long Island.
Okay, I just was curious. But as David said, there's not very much out there, so you know.
I haven't even seen Kite Runner. It's been a little much to deal with. I'll finally be able to.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, David. Charlie's seeing Kite Runner Monday. I thought that's what you were talking about. You were talking about the Orstaya. Sorry, he has that.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is I will let you guys know we're probably not doing a Dave's Gone By next Saturday.
You will.
That's what he said last Saturday, David.
According to
Don't
my
say
wife,
that.
I might.
You know you will.
I'll have a lot to talk about.
Girl, you know it's true.
Or maybe sounds like probably I will be doing a
All
Dave's
right.
Gone By next
Come on,
Saturday.
David, don't even play it.
So
Of
please
course
join.
you will.
Well, there's gonna be. I'm gonna miss one or two. It's gonna.
You're gonna never miss.
All right.
Well, so if we can, I hope to see you guys next
You did it
Saturday
when
morning.
You had COVID, for God's sake.
Sure.
Okay.
I had AIDS and leprosy at the same time. I still did it. Have a great week, guys. Hope to see
And
you.
a giant stepped on your house.
That happens. It does. And then I went into the woods and
You seem to be gone, so I'll just say goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week. Health and good things to both of you. Bye, Leslie.
All right.
And have a great week, David Sheward. See you
And
next
say
week.
goodbye, Stephen.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Stephen says, say goodbye to Stephen, honey.
And Steven's running away. He's not going to hear the limerick.
Say goodbye to the
Oh, to them.
people.
Okay, yes.
Say
Don't go
goodbye.
wasting it. We got more show.
It's like when people say goodbye, everybody just says goodbye, you know.
So we still, oh my God, we still have our Colorado Limerick of the Dam to do on Dave's Gone By. We still have our Dave's Big Dick Shinary segment, which I think I'll do next. And we haven't even done Greeley Crimes at all times. Oh my God, let's get to it.
It's
Let's
already
do
12 o'clock.
Let's do Dave's Big Dick Shinary. Earlier in the program, my wife Joyce grabbed an that's not Oxford, it's a Webster's of some sort, an old dictionary here, flipped through it, put her finger randomly down on a word. And that word was not even a word, it's a proper name, Hagar, from the Bible. She was a prostitute. What was the
No,
thing?
she's a concubine of somebody and a slave of somebody.
She was Abraham's concubine, lucky Abraham, and she was also a slave to Abraham's wife Sarah. This is like early Genesis stuff. So my job is somehow to talk for about a couple of minutes about whatever Hagar brings to my mind. Well, the first thing, of course, it brings is back in the day. Remember comics? Remember comic strips, man? And for years, there was, as a kid, yes, I read the newspaper, yes, I read sports and other things, but there was a comic strip still around, I'm sure, called Hagar the Horrible. Remember? He was the Viking, and he had the shrewish wife, and he had the kids, and the pretty little daughter, and then the dumb son, and all these idiot Vikings who were. It wasn't my favorite thing, but it was a simple, cute comic strip, and I would read it every day. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't gravitate towards it like Peanuts or The Far Side or things like that. But it was still, this is cute. It's easy. It's simple. Big words. Sometimes it was amusing. So I do remember Hagar the Horrible, and it just made me think of comic strips as my mind is going, because there was an apologia in a thing that we're going to talk about in just a couple of minutes of the Greeley Tribune, because I was digging for information from them, and they had a thing. One of their stories was from the editor, who said, "We apologize. Because we no longer print in hard copy 7 days a week. We do only 4 days a week now. We have had these expanded online editions of content that you can only get by going to GreeleyTribune.com and signing up and paying for a digital subscription." But then he said, it's the Times, ladies and gentlemen. He said, "I'm sorry, but we've had to curtail all of that writing. So now the one thing they kept that you can still get in the online is the comics. That's the only thing. So all the extra writing, all the longer sports stories, all these other things, no. But at least for now, until they bring them back, if you want to stay in our expanded section, you get more comics." And isn't that the way? Isn't that the one thing everybody kind of looks at and turns to in the newspapers, even if you don't read them all, even if you look at some of them? I think Mother Goose I found funny once. And you still kind of give it a glance, and it's like, hey, is it finally going to be funny? It's like, no. Or back in the day, every once in a while you glance at things like Gasoline Alley and Dondi. And why? Who's reading this? Who's reading Little Orphan Annie in 1977? Like, nobody. Give me the Family Circle, okay. The cute little things about the family, I get it. For Better or Worse, remember that one? So it brings up Hagar. Hagar's one of those. It's like not as good as BC or the Lockhorns, which I think the Lockhorns are pretty funny. Not going anywhere with this. So let me jump away from that to pants and slacks. And Hagar, of course, known.
David Stephen said Dondi the Orphan?
Yeah, Little Dondi. Dondi, it was a movie with Arnold Stang, but it was based on a comic strip of a little boy. He didn't have, how Little Orphan Annie just had these white eyes with no pupils? Yeah. He just had pupils with no irises. I don't know why. I think that's true. Just had these weird, like, pupil eyes. I don't even remember it. But slacks. And ever since, and Joyce will vouch for this, I was never a hip dresser. I was never somebody who dressed for the times. I always dressed like a 40-year-old man, even when I was in like.
Just like a 90-year-old.
Even when I was in like middle school, I would wear a button-down shirt. I hated belts. I wouldn't wear belts back then, but I would wear a button-down shirt and like old men slack pants. Like I was. Hagar. Yes, that's what. Like I was.
Like your word of the day.
That's why I'm talking. I'm in the middle of Dave's Big Dictionary. I jumped from Hagar the Horrible to Hagar my horrible pants. I thought they were nice. I thought I looked neat and clean. But everybody else is wearing jeans. Everybody else is wearing more casual things. And I go into 5th grade looking like Willie Loman from Death of a Salesman, because I had this heavy black briefcase that was wearing calluses into my fingers that I still have from carrying a briefcase, a button-down shirt. I didn't wear a tie. And I went to a private school, but we didn't have like a dress code of everybody wears a uniform or you have to wear. No, it was the 1970s. We had some level of autonomy in terms of dress, but I just felt like, okay, this is how my dad dresses, except for the tie and the suit. I guess I should wear a nice shirt, clean shirt, and nice pants. and somehow I still kind of looked like, you know. And when my wife met me, she, I would come see her. I thought, oh, I'm dressed up nice for a date, and she'd see me, and she said, "What am I dating, a 50-year-old?" I was 32 at the time, and I have these Velcro sneakers that I thought were great. And she's like, he's not even wearing like decent looking shoes. He's wearing shoes like a 70-year-old man with arthritis who can't tie laces and painful bunions. So that and people came around. By the way, when I was teaching,
Oh God.
the first day I was teaching one particular English class at the university, and one of the kids, one of these 17, 18-year-old said, "Cool shoes." And I thought he was making fun of me.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He was saying,
Are you sure?
it was before it came into fashion. He was like, Velcro, what a great idea. What a helpful thing, because you don't have to deal with the laces of sneakers, and you don't have the discomfort of heavy shoes. So, Hagar, man, I don't know if I was always wearing Hagar slacks, but I probably was at one point. So that's what Hagar brings to mind as I turn rather old and haggard. It's the only thing that comes into mind with that. Nothing about, even though I was in Hebrew school for years and years and years, even though we studied Genesis somewhat more than all the other books because it was the most interesting one with the most stories. By the time we got to fucking Leviticus and Numbers, where it was just like, oh God, how many cubits is the ark? And at least Genesis had stories about Abraham and his whore, who was a slave to his wife, and Hagar, and then it was like, well, what does Rashi say about Hagar? Who cares? Right? Sorry, but who cares? Anyway, I don't care, and that's why we're ending this segment of Dave's Gone By called Dave's Big Dictionary, all about Hagar. We gotta get a new dictionary. It does not belong, it's a proper name.
I didn't make it up.
Doesn't belong in there.
Make it up.
Anyway.
Want me to do a backup one?
No, we're good. We're done. We got more show to do. As a matter of fact, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, our friends of the Daverhood. But before then, since I teased you with an actual front page of the Greeley Tribune newspaper from Greeley, Colorado, and its psychotic sociopathic tree, this is an actual real photograph, ladies and gentlemen. This is such genius. Whoever did this. I never get tired of this. All the ways a tree can kill you. And I wonder, do they say somewhere artist's rendering? I hope to hell they must. Not really. No.
It's a real photo.
Anyway, the Greeley Tribune still publishes. It's well over like 110, 120 years old in Greeley, Colorado, in northern Colorado, about an hour and a half north of Denver. So the Tribune is a real paper, but it has a couple of funny, intentionally so, columns that they do every week. One is called Cop Log. It's people who call the police department saying, oh my God, something weird is happening in the neighborhood. Come, please check it out. And it is generally kind of weird, or the phone calls themselves are a little odd. They collect all these because it's public record, and they strip the names away and the actual addresses, but the rest is true. And they collect the funniest ones every week in the Tribune in Cop Log. Plus, they have another column that our friend Mike Peters at the Tribune, he goes through the newspapers from 1922, 100 years ago, and he finds things that to our modern eyes, did you notice the burp I squelched there? To our modern eyes are perhaps a little goofy or nostalgic or funny or back in the day, racist or offensive. Whatever it was in the paper. In 1922, Mike Peters finds it for a column called 100 Years Ago. We mix up both columns, and we put together a weekly segment that we call Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Fiddly indeed we. Yes, Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Honey, are you feeling criminal? Are you ready for some modern crime for our modern times? I'm hoping the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So these phone calls came into the police department within the last 3 weeks in Greeley, Colorado. A caller on 8th Street. Oh, I got it. Yellow. Yeah, I know you're on 8th Street. I can see here. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, we'll get right on it. Okay, here's the deal. A caller on 8th Street said shoes were hanging on the telephone cables. This indicated that there were drugs being sold.
I've heard that.
Really?
I've heard that many times, like in Queens and stuff, when there's sneakers when people throw sneakers on
On the
electric
wire,
thing.
yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
Oh, either an urban myth or wow. Now that interests me. That is it's kind of like not an urban myth, but apparently what Vicky was telling us last week about putting
Oh yeah.
peanut M&Ms on the dashboard of your car if you end up parking illegally, and they'll think you're a cop. At least in Chicago, it's a Chicago thing, I guess. So here's the deal. I don't know if I see shoes or sneakers strung along a telephone wire. Wouldn't that be more likely to indicate that someone was using a defective trampoline?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. The thing that really freaks me out more than anything else is that we have in our neighborhood, about a half mile away, a tent, a makeshift-ish tent, where the Orthodox Jews, the Chabadniks, if you will, are doing Torah study, and it's almost it's a synagogue and a Torah learning place, because we have a very big and growing Orthodox population in this part of town. Fine, okay. Kind of weird for the neighborhood, bit of an eyesore, but there they are. Outside it for the past week has been a broken giant trampoline. I gotta be wondering what they're really doing in there.
I don't know.
If they're saying they're studying Torah, I get it. Why? How? Who's got a big broken trampoline outside a Chabad synagogue? It is to wonder. All right, here we go. Our next crime. A caller on 14th Avenue reported finding multiple bullet casings near the splash park. Well, all I can say is maybe the swimmer was doing a cannonball. little pun humor there. Oh, honey, we have an awe alert. Are you ready? This is a human noise we're making here. This is an awe alert, because when I give you this story, you will want to say, aw. All right, here we go. A caller on Glenmere Boulevard said domesticated ducks were left at the lake. And everybody says, oh, who domesticates ducks? What?
I
The
guess
ducks.
They're a pet. They're probably somebody.
Who is about to, okay.
Like a domesticated duck expert?
I know. I quacked up when I saw that one. Okay. A caller on 10th Street. Hello. This I would report. A caller reported a man named Cube was inside the tunnel with bats.
Yeah, Ice Cube?
First of all, I don't know if it was Ice Cube or are there any other kind of rap cube?
Rubik's Cube, maybe Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube. Inside the tunnel, and it's bats, and now it occurs to me, does he mean baseball bats like he's swinging around, or does he actually
Maybe
mean
he means bats.
a tunnel full of bats?
You know bats like vampire bats. William
Well,
Shatner knows that.
well, that's if he has a belfry, I guess he would. And we have another one. We have a caller on 61st Avenue, all the way up on 61st Avenue. What did you see, sir? Okay. He saw a naked man running through the area while shouting someone's name. That is a date gone really, really wrong. That is just him failing to perform, I guess. And then he's like, another chance, please. It is, by the way, noon Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce, and it is our 859th episode of the show. We have, oh my God, I forgot to even, can you bring me the board, the placard? I want to show it. It's not up here.
Oh no? Oh, you didn't?
Well, I forgot to put it up there. Oh, Joyce put all this work into it. Let's share it. Let's have it. This is so important. Here we go.
My pants are falling.
Thank you, concubine. Here we go. This is it. This is it. It's the 859th episode of the show. We've been calling it Wolf Whistle. Get it? Wolf for our new friend, Andrea Wolff. Let me get this out of the way so that we have room for you. Okay, much better. I knew something was missing. So, where am I? A caller near 29th Street said 3 cows were walking around the hospital parking lot. Were they waiting for a calf?
You're waiting for Uber.
Yeah, they're upstairs. They didn't have the cigars.
You're waiting for
Moober. I love it. Well, you have to listen for the horn. I guess they had a beef with the driver. Is this a fake story or is it for veal? Okay, enough. I'm not going to milk this anymore. Let's do some old time stories. These are stories that were in the Greeley Tribune newspaper literally back in 1922. And we'll see how they hold up 100 years later. Honey, now we need some real noise.
Oh my God.
More than that. Wait. Let me do this one. Yeah, that's better. We have a marmot alert. We actually have a marmot alert. This is exciting. Remember, this is northern Colorado. In Sligo, they made, I don't think Sligo exists anymore, but it was a town back then. They made a mistake in setting up a prairie dog extermination camp
Oh God.
at the Olander place. It was a mistake because a nearby merchant has 2 pet prairie dogs in his store and they could be endangered.
Oh no.
The camp was moved to a farm outside of Sligo. I think they're calling it Marmauschwitz.
Oh God.
Anywho, hey, did you know? And this is good news, I guess. Little Brown Jug has been captured.
Oh.
It was one of the wild cow ponies on display at Island Grove Park. A little wilder than the other horse, Little Brown Jug escaped from the park and spent a few days eating grass in various areas around Greeley. Wouldn't that be cool? Like 100 years ago, just sort of wandering around and there's a little cow. And now they just go into the hospital parking lots.
Okay.
More things change, ladies
Go to
and gentlemen.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think they would go.
Oh no.
I think the smell coming out of McDonald's, they would end up going to like an Arthur Treacher's fish and chips instead.
Oh.
A local carpenter, this is 100 years ago, pleaded guilty this week to drinking sterno. Sterno is a campfire starter and contains wood alcohol and ether.
Wouldn't that kill you?
The carpenter was decidedly groggy when arrested and he was fined $25 in court. I don't know. Isn't the punishment for drinking sterno?
I think you get really sick.
I mean, yeah, it's like people drink shoe polish and whatever else because this was during the Prohibition, I suspect. So anyway, you can get a little bit of alcohol. But to find somebody who's desperate for a drink and not driving or anything, just for having sterno and drinking it, and to fine them $25, which back then is like $100 or more easily. Idiots. A convicted murderer in jail in Greeley learned that his appeal was denied him by the Supreme Court. When a reporter from the Greeley Tribune Republican, that's what it was called back then, asked him for comment, he would say only, humph. Somehow I don't think that, I don't know if anybody has ever said humph. Even a convicted killer, murderer, denied parole, anything, he might say some other things, or he might be silent, but H-U-M-P-H, no,
Did people say that? Yeah. Wow.
humph, maybe back then. Can you see, actually in the dictionary, if H-U-M-P-H is there, humph. I'm not sure for Humphrey Bogart. See if that is an actual word, humph. Like hump with an H on the end.
So hard to read this font.
I know, yeah.
It's a bad
Kind of a pain.
month.
Joyce is looking in the dictionary that we used for Dave's big dictionary earlier in the show. Not that much earlier in the show, a couple of months.
Hugger,
Hugger.
H-U-H.
Uh-huh.
Hulking, Hull. There's hum,
Uh-huh.
human,
Oh, yeah. Humid. Yeah.
humble, humorous,
Okay.
H-U-M, yes,
Wait.
H-U-M-P-H, humph. A grunting sound expressing doubt, surprise, disdain, disgust, etc.
Good word.
It's in there. You
Um,
did a good, yeah, you got it.
That's some good newspaper in right there, and thank you for that, hon.
Uh,
So, humph. Maybe I'll name next episode Humph. We'll see if we can get over that hump. Let me go outside of Greeley, Colorado. Let's go elsewhere for a little bit of crime and a little bit of just odd news, because that's one of the things we do on the show, or in this particular segment, is there are weird stories that crop up elsewhere beyond northern Colorado, and we kind of share one or two with you every week. This one is from Westchester, New York, so not so far from us right now. Hudson Valley News carried this story. You were the one who turned me on to this story last week.
oh no.
Did you know that some baby names are banned in New York State? There are names that legally, even though we're a free society, even though you can do what you want, you cannot legally name your baby. About a dozen different names are off. Judges will not allow it. It will not be legally allowed in New York State. Some of those names are, and again, this is not a joke, this is a real thing. You cannot name your child Santa Claus.
Darn.
You know, I wonder if people can get around it. If they can maybe name it Sanat
Yeah, but
Claus.
if you get Santa Claus, then maybe you get all the letters that get sent to you.
Well, that's why
That's
they do
probably
it.
why,
You know,
yeah.
if everybody's writing to the North Pole, and the post office is like, oh, cute, it's a letter to Santa from the North, and they all go, yeah. So now suddenly, some guy, some kid grows up. His name is Santa Claus, and he gets like 80,000 letters in December.
Why do I keep having to give kids gifts?
And he throws it in the trash. Now you got all these angry kids not getting any response. You cannot name your kid Jesus Christ, which is interesting because how many Spanish people name their kids Jesus?
Yeah.
But if you call him Jesus Cristo, I guess you cannot. You are not allowed to name your kid Adolf Hitler. No, there was that family,
Yes,
not in New
there was
York,
a
but
lawsuit or something, yeah.
yeah, they took the kids away because they named them Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun. I'm not kidding. That was true. You cannot name, and this I think is wrong. This is not fair. You can't name your kid Messiah. Why not? I think that's actually a really nice name. I think, why not? Messiah is a perfectly nice name for a kid. It might give him a little bit of a complex growing up, a Napoleonic thing there. You cannot name your kid the Roman numeral 3. Now we get into like Prince territory, artist formerly known stuff.
Oh, wow.
You can't name your child the @ symbol.
Yeah, but Prince named himself that symbol.
Right. He's not in New York State. Maybe Minnesota looks the other way.
Yeah, okay.
The @ symbol is not good. And this bugs me. You cannot name your kid king or queen. Why not?
I like it because you want to be King David.
I mean, back in the day, this was California, there was a very important silent film director named King Vidor.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a gospel singer named Queen Esther Marrow. So I honestly don't know why suddenly you can't use those titles. I guess because it's America. You're not allowed to have a king or a queen. Or you can't even name a kid Majesty. Wouldn't it be a wonderful name for a boy?
Her
Majesty. And yet you can name a girl Madge.
Okay, from Margaret, right?
Yeah, right. So I don't know. You can't do any number. Somebody apparently tried to name their kid 1069.
I would name the kid like 9 or something, right? But no numbers?
No numbers. No actual numbers. No numeral numbers. I don't know if you're allowed to name your kid 7.
Like N-I-N-E, yeah.
Or 53. Or this is interesting, you cannot have a name, one single name, any longer than 30 characters. So if you're a Welsh person, you're probably bugging up against the limit right there. Because, what? My name is Yapko Kleklekoteknikolagelsultan. I'm afraid you're going to have to shorten that to Lapko Kleklekoteknik. Yeah.
Even said Majesty should be a girl's name, and I think he likes Prince.
Here's the deal.
Singer, the artist.
This isn't just New York. In America, in the United States, you cannot. Remember, they're probably responding on these. They probably didn't sit down and think, what names, of all the names that someone could possibly come up with, should we disallow? Should we ban from being used? They probably are responsive. They're probably like, somebody wants to name their kid this. No. Just no. So, just so you know, you cannot name your child anywhere in America Mystery.
Mystery Theater?
No. Mystery Nigger.
That's not part of it.
Yes. You can't.
Oh my God, Dave, don't even repeat
Now
that.
notice, not just the N-word.
I know.
You can can probably name your kid the N-word, but mystery, M-I-S-T-E-R-I, so to make it special. By the way, M-I-S-T-E-R-I, N-word. You cannot name your child that. I wonder why. And then again, I don't know if anybody tried to name their kid Kike. Maybe you can. Someone should try. In the world, by the way, there are more names here that you cannot name a child. This is various countries with their rules. In Germany, you cannot name your child Osama bin Laden. And yet, there's no mention of whether you can do that in the United States, of all places. You cannot in Mexico, because again, these are things people try to name their children. In Mexico, you cannot name your child RoboCop. And you cannot name your child Circumcision. Somebody, that's the thing, somebody went to the Department of Records, to the Bureau, to wherever they go, to the hospital, and said, oh, we have a beautiful young boy baby. What can we name him? We want to call him Circumcision, and we're going to name him Brisford. No, you cannot do it. Why not? It's just, you can't. And then they had a big flap about it. In Sweden, I don't know why, but in Sweden, you are not allowed to name your baby Metallica. You cannot name it IKEA, or in Sweden, I'm going to read the name to you, the letters. Capital B, R, F, X, X, C, C, X, X, M, N, P, C, 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 L, 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 M, M, N, P, R, X, V, C, L, M, N, C, K, S, S, Q, L, B, B, 11116, which, by the way, I kid you not, is pronounced Alban. Yeah. Just keeps giving and giving. In Saudi Arabia, however, you cannot name a child Linda. It's too, I think it was too Western. You have to have like more Arabic kind of names there. In Morocco, speaking of the Arabs, this is real nice. In Morocco, you can name your kid Sarah, S-A-R-A, is fine. But you cannot name your kid Sarah with an H, because it's too Hebrew, it's too Jewish. Motherfuckers. You can not, in Portugal, name your child Tom or Kate, because you're not allowed to use shortened versions of names. So you can name your kid Thomas or Catherine, but you can't officially, legally name them Tom or Kate. Nor, for some reason, in Portugal, can you name your kid Thor. No matter how much you ache and you're Thor all over. And then finally, in New Zealand, wonderful New Zealand, you are not allowed to name your child because people obviously try to. You cannot name your child Sex Fruit. And if I've given you an idea, that's still legal here in America. So what is a child if not a sex fruit? You cannot name your child Sex Fruit or Anal. Maybe it's an Arab name like Anal, but it's no. Or do not, you cannot name your child Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii.
That's cute.
Yeah, but you cannot name your kid
Is it
that.
too long?
That may have more than 30 characters in it.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, none of this was made up. All of this was real. And I can't think of a better way to end this segment, which we have been calling Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, he was not.
I'm sure that you agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Oh, yeah.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Thank you, Groucho. It is 12:15 Eastern Time in the Daverhood. Yes, I know. The show, Dave's Gone By, airs every Saturday from 9 until noon.
Oh, he said
Yeah.
the mystery bad word was the name change, not a parent naming child. It was like a legal name change.
So they wanted to take a kid with a normal name.
No, the person wanted to do it. So you have to legally change your name when you're
Oh. So you can't call your, an adult. Nobody can change their name. I won't say it again. Is that Stephen? I certainly won't say it again. Oh, so no offense, Stephen. I'm just reading them. I'm not saying it. Anyway, Dave's Gone By. It is the thereabouts portion of Dave's Gone By because it's after noon here, Eastern Time. We've been calling this episode Wolf Whistle for Andrea Wolff, and we are. We still have a little bit more to do. We have a horrible, terrible poem to do for you, a short one, about La Plata, Colorado. That's coming up in our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. But before we do, let me tell you about the friends of the Daverhood. These are the people who have been on this program in months or years past. We know they're here, they do something wonderful, and then a couple of years later, they're in a different show. They've got a new book out. They've done other things. We keep you posted because they're like friends. They're like family. So, for example, right now, we're telling you that Andrea Wolff is going to be appearing in her musical show called Adventures in Vegas at the AMT Theater off Broadway on West 45th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue, happening from July 30th through August 24th. And the AMT is a brand new theater. It's going to be really nice and comfortable. Check it out and go see her. But, in a couple of months, we'll be telling you that she's appearing in Gary Morgenstern's show called The Tomato Doesn't Grow in the Bronx. Forgive me if I'm misspeaking that. But he was on the show just a couple of weeks ago about his play. So, they'll both come back. We'll mention them then because they're friends of the Daverhood. It goes like that. David Sheward, longtime friend of the Daverhood, of course, and he writes for theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, and has a blog called The David Desk. Leslie Hoban Blake, she is on Two on the Aisle with our friend Charlie Gross, which does new episodes about twice a month. And then, of course, Rabbi Saul Solomon has a website, shalomdammit.com, for his interviews and for his rabbinical reflections, his mini sermons that you can hear, and also even his great stage show, An Evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon, Shalom Damn It. All of that you can listen to and read and watch at shalomdammit.com. But those are just some of the friends of the Daverhood who are on the show today. What about folks who've been on in the past? What are they up to? Let's check in on our friends. So, for example, want to let you know that Becca Kidwell, the cabaret songstress, she's doing a tribute to Mary Chapin Carpenter at Don't Tell Mama. I believe that's on West 46th Street in the city, and that is happening on the 24th. That is tomorrow, So go see Becca Kidwell singing Mary Chapin Carpenter's songs at Don't Tell Mama. Not sure what time that is, whether it's an afternoon or an evening show, but go to the Don't Tell Mama website and check it out. And yes, we mentioned before, Sidney Meyer is the booker for Don't Tell Mama. He's also appears in his own cabarets there, so check him out as well. Now through August 14th, extended in Barcelona, Spain, our Tony-winning actress Alice Ripley and also Adam Pascal are taking part in an immersive redo of the Broadway musical Next to Normal. They're doing it apparently in this big amphitheater and this virtual stuff connected to it, and apparently it's quite popular. It's in Spain, if you happen to be there. It's called Next to Normal, featuring Alice Ripley and Adam Pascal. Annie Golden, she is in Into the Woods on Broadway at the St. James Theater. So far, through August 21st, I'm gathering they're trying to extend it if they can. Thursdays, now through early September, go see Katsura Sunshine's one-man show Rakugo. It's Japanese storytelling at New World Stages off Broadway. We mentioned Seth Bisson-Hirsch. His show Love Quirks is playing at the AMT Theater through September 2nd. On Broadway through September 4th, Mr. Saturday Night. It's the Billy Crystal show. It's very funny. I enjoyed it. It's at the Nederlander Theater, and it features lyrics by our friend Amanda Green. On Broadway also, Christian Knoll through mid-September in Dear Evan Hansen, and playing now through October 2nd, Come From Away, a wonderful musical that is written by our friends Irene Sankoff and David Hein. That is at the Schoenfeld Theater. Saturday nights, including this Saturday night, tonight at 5:30, all the way through mid-September now, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano singing the American Songbook at Birdland. For tickets, go to birdlandjazz.com. Now, through an open run, Aladdin on Broadway with music by that EGOT, Alan Menken, at the New Amsterdam Theater. Jim Caruso's Cast Party plays every Monday night at Birdland. Go to stagebuddy.com for stuff about New York nightlife. Our friend Evan Seplow founded that and runs it. And then Dr. Demento doing old and new Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Vicky Quaddy. Go see her in Bible Bingo, Late Night Catechism, and Are You Smarter Than Your Eighth Grade Nun? She does those shows on the weekends at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. And of course, if you want to hear stories about upstate New York history, Bob Cudmore does them as podcasts at bobcudmore.com. Those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not yet 12:30. We may be out of here just shortly after 12:30 as we finish up this episode of Dave's Gone By. Hon, have we forgotten anything? Have we done everything that
We're done. Let's go order some food and eat, babe.
You sure? You sure?
Yeah.
There's nothing that I...
Steve said you have the best guests.
Oh, well, thank you, Steve. And as I said, Steve, anytime you want to... Anytime you retire or quit your job or are fired or
Can he come on in a pseudonym, be a fake name, and come on like in incognito? We can
yeah, but then I can't talk about his day job, which is like really fascinating. What?
You could make a fake one.
He could. We'll think about that for next season of Dave's Gone By.
He could talk just like your guest today, Andrea. You could pretend he's her.
Yeah, if he has you have a blonde wig, Steve? I'll bet he does.
Do it. Yeah, I think that would work.
No, you haven't seen one. Okay. Although he could, maybe. But before then, Joyce reminded me that we do have a poem to do for you. A horrible, terrible, disgusting, evil poem about a place in Colorado. See, Joyce and I lived in Colorado for many years, and I got it into my head while we were there to write a poem about as many places.
Oh, God, he wants to be called Pookie Love. Oh, we gotta put the dance. I'm gonna find it.
Do find the Fluffy Pookie Poo. Please find the Fluffy Pookie Poo dance from the Mr. Potato Head show. This is very important.
Oh, I don't know if this.
And I may hold you to that, Steve. All right. Anyway, we lived in Colorado for a bunch of years. Started writing a poem about everything from Vail, which rhymes with everything, Two other places that aren't quite so easy to rhyme about. They're 5-line poems, they're limericks. This week, we go to La Plata, Colorado, for a Colorado limerick of the damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Okay, now you're putting in there. What did you put in the fluffy pokey poo?
No, I'm not saying nothing. You told me to be quiet, so.
Well, all right, hold on. Well, because the theme music is playing. It's all right. Now, tell us what you gave Stephen McCain.
I sent the fluffy pookie poo song.
Hey, pookie poo, fluffy pookie poo. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, it's too long to explain. It was a short sequence that I became obsessed with. From, believe it or not, there was a puppet show on TV 25-something years ago called the Mr. Potato Head Show. It was an authorized Mr. Potato Head thing. This is long before Toy Story. And it's not that great a show, although some of the puppetry is pretty good. But there was a moment when the Mr. Potato Head character has to calm himself down. And rather than do meditation, and rather than try other things, he goes into a room in his underwear and does the fluffy pookie poo dance. I would show it for you on the thing, but I'm afraid that it was a network show, believe it or not. And I'll get zapped from Facebook to share it, or from YouTube, so I'm not going to do that. But can everybody see it? Did you send it to, did you post it on the thing, or just to him?
I sent it.
Thank you for doing that. But we go back to our Colorado limerick of the damned, La Plata, Colorado. There's a town named La Plata. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then we're going to do our limerick dedicated to La Plata. La Plata, if you know your Spanish, means the silver. It's a big place. It's a big old county. Population 55,000 people. Largest town in Durango County. And it's in far southeast Colorado. And it's named that because it's got both the La Plata River and the La Plata Mountains. Shouldn't those be Los Platos? Anyway, home to the San Juan National Forest, got a lot of trails, and even has a narrow gauge railroad that is still running through there for tourists. And it's got a pretty healthy population too. Life expectancy in La Plata is 82 years old, about 5 years higher than the national average. So, rather nice place, La Plata, Colorado, except in this particular poem. So, ladies and gentlemen, hide the children, knife the children if you have to. It's time for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for La Plata, Colorado. Ahem. If ever you visit La Plata, steer clear of a whore named Renata. Her perilous womb is a penis's tomb, for she has vagina dentata. Yes, please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. Or you can also post your messages right here on the Facebook page, Dave's Gone By, or send me a message if you're a Facebook friend. Either way, I love hearing from you. I don't necessarily have the chance to respond to everyone, but I love getting the thumbs up and the likes and the messages and the suggestions. Great to hear from all of you, just like Steve chimes in as part of the show all week, all day. Yeah, no, it's great. So, davesgoneby@aol.com. Also check our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. That's Radio Dave and the number 2. Also, want to let you know that the archives of this, I haven't even had a chance to mention this whole show. If you want to watch an old episode of Dave's Gone By, or even hear older shows when we were just on the radio and audio only, they are all at davesgoneby.com. DAVESGONEBY, davesgoneby.com. From our very, very first episode and first interviews that we did, all the way up through last week's show, and 850-something episodes in between. It's all there for free. Sometimes the sound quality is a little meh, or we lost 1 or 2 episodes, but mostly it's just like this. And you can see what I looked like and what I sounded like 4 years ago. what the show was like 10 years ago, 18 years ago, October will bring us to, God willing, our 20th anniversary from literally being on the air. Because it's always confusing because we started our 20th season I don't know how that works, but we went on the air October 6th, I believe, 2002. So when we hit October 6th, 2022, that's going to be a big, very big banner time. And can you believe it's only like 3 months away? So yeah, if you want to get caught up on the whole history of Dave's Gone By, and there's a search button if you're looking for a particular actor or actress or musician who's been on the show, find it that way. There's also an index of all the people who've been on the program as guests, all the skits we've done, all the fun we've had, davesgoneby.com. We also put our archives up at archive.org. That is a not-for-profit website that gathers arts and entertainment from the past thousands of years. Everything from old-time radio shows to like kinescope TV shows and public domain books. Plus, we have a channel there, the Dave's Gone By channel at archive.org. You can also hear our audio at castbox.fm. That is just for podcasting and it's just audio. But if you only want to listen to the show, all our episodes are there, castbox.fm. And finally, we have hour-long excerpts of the program at random Tuesday nights, Channel 20, from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. on Altice Cable, the Xfinity cable channel or cable system in Nassau County, Long Island. So if you're still getting cable, I guess people are, you go to Channel 20 on Tuesday nights at 9:30 just for a random segment, an hour-long segment of Dave's Gone By, just for funsies. Check it out there. Plus, we have a YouTube channel, lots of ways to see Dave's Gone By. Please, please do so. And finally, the last thing I want to tell you is if you're interested in my writing, if you want to read my plays, I wrote a new play this week. I can tell you about it. Well, I did. I told you. This one's finished. This one is sent.
Don't say 10 pages or whatever.
Actually, it's about 2 pages because remember last year I had a play done by these people, the Faces of America Monologue Festival. I wrote a play called 3%. Now, it was like a 2-minute monologue. It was performed by Misha. Oh my God, forgive me Misha Goodman, I think was her name. She was on the show, when she was performing the monologue in this festival. It was a virtual festival. Well, those times come round again. So they had another contest, another thing, and saying, okay, do you have a 2-minute play? And, send a new one in. I mean, not just to me. Obviously, the thousands of people can submit to this festival.
Did you win?
No. I just this week submitted this new play. I won't hear probably until the fall if I won. It's kind of like the folks who did my other play, Restoration Playhouse, last year. I submitted another play, did not get chosen, didn't even get nominated. Oh well. But Hope Springs Eternal, I think I did a great one.
What's it about?
And it's called At the Gate. And I don't want to give it too much, because it's only a 2-minute play. If I even tell about it, that's the whole play. But the idea is, the lead character, it's a monologue, and it's St. Peter at the gate of heaven.
Is that like the Bruno Mars song?
Is it? What Bruno Mars song?
Locked Out of Heaven.
But anyway, the play is just him doing crowd control at the gate of heaven. Cute little monologue, about 2 minutes. It can't be more than 2 minutes long, that's the point. So I submitted it.
What's the theme?
Oh my God, a lot of themes tied together amazingly enough in 2 minutes. It's a comedy,
No, but
but a dark
what's
comedy.
the theme of the submission process?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. They have rules. And by the way, if you want to compete against me and get your own short play, it's still open to people. It's the PGE, Playground Experiment thing. And they have certain rules. So it cannot be longer than 2 minutes. And it has to be a monologue. One person. Now, it can be one person, various characters. A character thing, it can be...
The last one wasn't a monologue, right?
Sure it was. 3%?
Oh, but there's other characters imagined, but you don't see
Yeah,
them.
no, but it's one
okay,
actor,
okay,
one
I
right
got
doing
you.
a monologue.
You
Yeah.
can write other characters, but they can't be seen.
And it's called Faces of America. So it's also supposed to kind of incorporate the idea of how many different faces and genders and ethnicities and sexes and races there are in America to get a whole hodgepodge melting pot, if you will, of what America is really like. So, 3%.
You know.
What? Sorry?
When will they tell you?
Oh, I'm weeks away. I mean, I literally just got the notification that submission process was open.
Are you eligible to submit because you want?
I believe I am. I don't think I'm disqualified because I was in a year ago. I'm hoping not. I think this is a wonderful piece, and I hope they choose it. I hope it gets done. If you're interested, again, you can submit a 2-minute play, monologue. It should deal on some level with the various faces of America, and it has to include.
Show me the thing. I want to see the book. I'll put it.
It has to include.
No. Let me just see. PGE.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll hold it up to the here. PG. This was last year's, and what's nice is they performed the play and then they put it in a published anthology. So my play last year.
Is this the third one?
3%. This is going to be the fourth. This was the third. And this year's has to incorporate somewhere in the play the word kindness. So if they scan through it and they don't see the word kindness, it's automatically rejected.
The deadline is August 31st.
Oh, so yeah. So I won't hear probably till October whether or not. I just think I really.
Or maybe September. If it's August 31st, they'll probably. Yeah.
That'd be great.
I'm going to read it and see what it says. Submissions, 2 pages. Late entries are not considered.
Okay, I'm in.
Doesn't say.
But so if you
the
guys.
festival's in November.
Yeah. So they probably September, October they'll say, then they'll choose the actor, the director, and they'll do it. But I would like to win. So I would appreciate if you don't submit your own plays, so I have less competition. But go ahead. It's free. There's no submission fee or anything like that. If you come up, so that was the thing. I saw this year's whatever, and I looked and I think is there something I can do? And then sometimes when you're a writer, the click happens. It's like brick in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. You hear the click. It's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I can do something. And it, 2 minutes is a very short amount of time to get your point across. But I think I did. And if you're interested in reading this year's play, which I submitted, you can go to davelefkowitz.org and read that play, and also read 3%, and read all the other plays pretty much that I've written that I felt is in a condition to put up on that website, davelefkowitz.org. Read my full-length plays, read my song lyrics, read my many, many, many theater reviews over the years, hundreds of them. Read my interviews with people that I did for places like Long Island Pulse and Long Island Woman and Playbill. I haven't even really started with all the Playbill material I've done. That'll take years. But, it's this repository. So, you hear my mouth like a suppository every week. Blah, 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 blah. But if you want to get the condensed Dave, the Dave that has to think of things and then organize words and paragraphs and sentences into a neatness and a coherence, whether I'm writing an essay or a comic bit or poems or song lyrics or plays, that's the place to go, davelefkowitz.org. So if you want to read last year's short play, it was called 3%. It's there. You can also search for At the Gate on davelefkowitz.org. I hope you check it out. And of course, if you own a theater company, I don't know, like AMT, you might want to give me a holler and say, hey, we want to do your play. And it happens. My play Blind Date, which has been done more than any other of my plays, was done just a couple of years ago in India. And the only way it happened was because the guy found my play online and said, I want to do this. I have an idea for it. And they produced it and they did a wonderful job. And you can find the video of it on YouTube. And I think it's on the Dave's Gone By website. I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is, it happened. It was out of the blue. Someone found my play and decided to produce it. I hope that happens much, much more. Okay. What else can we talk about, babe? What else is going on?
Nothing.
Nothing. I think we're about ready to put this episode to bed.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're going to be doing next week. Old Dave doesn't get a break. The 860th episode of Dave's Gone By. No idea if we'll have a guest. I know that we will have a lot to talk. I will be extemporizing like mad.
Oh, Stephen
Next
wants the link for the India produced play.
Oh, I think I have the link. If you go to davelefkowitz.org and look for Blind Date, there's a link to the video. And it was done in Chennai, India, by a lovely group of talented and good-looking people. So I was very, very, very happy to see that production. I mean, it's not like they flew me to India. That would have been worth it. I think they gave me $5. I was like, thank you very much. And they did it. But they did it. And I think it went very, very well.
So davidlefkowitz.org.
Dave Left, or I think David Lefkowitz also works.
Yeah, but when you put David Lefkowitz, it brings up the MD.
No, that's the one website I couldn't get. So one URL.
About Dr. David.
Yeah, no, that's not me.
David, clinical private practice.
But I think I have davidlefkowitz.com. Check it out. I think I've got the .com. I don't? I thought I did. Maybe I've just got the davelefkowitz.com.
davidlefkowitz.com is a professor of music at
Oh, so what about
UCLA.
davidlefkowitz.org?
No, that didn't work either.
Oh, I thought I had those. All right. davelefkowitz.com or .org.
When I do that, it doesn't come up.
Then there's a problem with the website. Let me just see what's going on here.
Here, I got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it works just fine.
Can I site search or is that broken?
Well, that's the Total Theater site. You can click on my name or for the main site index. You
I can't find the one to send.
look for. Do you see the collected writings of David Lefkowitz?
I see main site index.
Click on that.
Okay,
And you can all do this. Follow along at
where's
home.
the India one? It's on India.
Well, it's called Blind Date.
Just the play. You don't have the.
No, but I think I put the link to the production because this site doesn't allow for video or audio.
I don't see any. I can't find it.
You can't find Blind Date?
Show me how to find it then.
There's a search box.
Oh, can you use it? It works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow along at home. Do you see it?
Yeah, but I don't know when it's in the India one act comedy.
Yeah. Click on that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, click on the green,
Okay.
and that should bring you to. It does bring you to the play.
Yeah.
Now, maybe at the very end of the play, I put the link. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. I did not put the link to the production. I think you have to find that on YouTube. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up then. Okay. I'll look it up there.
Cool. Or maybe it's on the Dave's Gone By website, which is davesgoneby.com. Notice how these things circle around and find each other? But thanks for reminding me. I should add that link to...
Lefkowitz, blind dated Chennai. Let me see. Yeah, okay,
I hope you all found it too, because I'm very proud of that production. I was hoping, they said that they were going to try and tour with it, but that never happened. So,
well,
story of my life. Yeah.
well, COVID hit.
Oh, this was like 5 years ago already. Yeah. I think they did some other. I don't know if the theater company is still extant or whatever, but
I put it in there.
thank you, babes. So, it is 1:45 Eastern Time in the Daverhood. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my wonderful wife, Joyce, who's so supportive and so helpful and manning the Facebook and adding the sound effects and doing a whole bunch of stuff that you just don't see for on the show each week, which is so important to me. And what else? What else do we have to say? We should probably be here. Let's see. I wasn't planning on it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. July 30th. Next Saturday. We will very likely be back here in the Daverhood with the 860th episode of Dave's Gone By. So until then, try and, I know everybody's telling you this, stay cool in these times. Try to, is anything good happening this week? We're getting through July, pretty much, this week. You know, we made it through the heat, we made it through the political tumult, making it through Joe Biden having COVID, along with everything else. Well, maybe gas prices will come down a little bit more. That'd be nice. Inflation will ease up a little bit. We'll have a decent
It's in
week.
English, right?
Yeah, it's in English, and there's music too. You're not finding it?
Oh, yeah, he's asking.
Oh, okay, cool. No, it's totally in English. They didn't translate it
English
into
music.
Hindi or anything. Yeah.
But
Alrighty.
India's common language is English because there's so many other languages and dialects and things. English is the common
Well, I just want to take one more moment and thank again Joyce, as well as David Sheward, Leslie Hoban
And
Blake,
Hagar.
Andrea Wolff, Hagar, who was not that horrible. Gotta say, Hagar was not horrible at all. Oh, and thank you to Scotty Rhodes, the press person who set up the interview with Andrea Wolff. It turned out great, as I knew it would. So thank you, Scotty, so much for making that happen. And thank you all for watching. Write to me, davesgoneby@aol.com. Check the websites, davesgoneby.com and davelefkowitz.org. Check the Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2 and Rabbi Sol's at Rabbi Sol Solomon. I don't know, I'm just dragging here. There's nothing else. Tell me there's nothing else to say. I can end.
We gotta go have lunch.
We gotta go eat. I'm starving. We're sure you are too. Thank you for talking about the show, telling people about the show, getting more people to watch and enjoy it, because that's so important. And have a wonderful week and gone by.
Days gone by, days gone